go and slap that up there real quick before I forget. So, the first part of this stream will be an anime-only safe space, okay? That's one thing I have to make absolutely clear. Okay? And I know that there is a lot of discussion about this, because there's a lot of people who are upset, maybe not about this in particular, but I've seen it in different communities that are upset that source material readers have a harder time in certain communities, and I understand that frustration. I do. But we also have to understand that the ratio of source material readers to anime onlys for ReZero is staggering. Okay? Source material readers are outnumbered, like, for every, like, fucking 1,000 anime onlys, there's, like, one novel reader. Like, at best. And sometimes that sometimes that quote-unquote novel reader hasn't actually read anything. They've just watched a few summaries and, like, skimmed the wiki and, like, maybe read an if. So that's going to be the primary difference with these streams, as opposed to the MHA streams. The MHA streams, I just went live and started fucking yapping, right? Because there were a lot of MHA manga readers. There's a lot of them. But there's not that many novel readers for ReZero. So, in the episode streams, I'm gonna segment it into anime-only safe spaces where we talk about what happened in the anime, we talk about the adaptation and stuff like that. And then we'll have a section later where we talk about what's to come. We can talk about maybe what next episode adapts and so on and so forth.
We are Sue back.
We are Sue back indeed. Thank you, Ren. I appreciate that. Is cut content okay? I would say yeah, because I am just the kind of guy who doesn't care about cut content. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me personally. I know a lot of people are very sensitive about that, but that's tough. I don't know what to tell you. For every message, they don't want me to tell you this, guys. It's top secret. For every message that gets deleted because you're spoiling, the United States is going to use that to send $1 billion to Israel, okay? Don't spoil. No spoilers in chat, guys. Anyway, are we going to vote for a new thing? Yes, we will. Heard about the episode count? Yeah. I mean, I knew about the episode count for a while, so not really surprised. But it's cool, though. Yeah, it's cool. Globe. So let's get a few. Okay, I don't know how many of you are new, but for those that haven't been to a stream before, every stream we add one new thing to the stream layout. As you can see, the dog has a helmet on. As you can see, there's a Murderer of the Month plaque in the corner of the of the office that fell down. So we need to add our third item. Any suggestions in chat? We have the Globe Brigade. Subaru statue. Pride flag of Subaru and Julius making out. See, that is interesting. Because I can't make that in instantly. Pride flag? I do like pride flag, though. Subaru statue. No spoilers, but just a general statement, please. How did you like the arcade ending? Quite good. Even though I'm not a massive fan of arcade. Perhaps an orb for which the helmeted canine could ponder. I don't think he's a wizard. I have an image for the Subaru Julius making out pride flag. I can DM you it? Sure. Oh wait, we have Subaru statue. We have globe. We have a pride flag. Hello, Kant. Can't. Sorry. I'll tap you in a minute here, Jordan. Subaru X Julius Yowie, please. Damn, man. I start streaming, everyone just wants to talk about Subaru and Julius fucking. I mean, I don't blame you. But... see, I just said, don't spoil. That's 1 billion to Israel. Like, I don't want it to be like this. But every time you spoil in chat, the United States is sending 1 billion to... don't type Jordan out, please. No. When did the Subaru and Julius ship start? Knowing shippers, probably Arc 3. Like, as soon as they made eye contact. The demand for Julius and Subaru Yowie is loud. It is. I can't blame you guys either. It's okay. Alright. Let me make this poll. The third item. We have a globe. Subaru statue. What were the... oh, pride flag. What was the other one? Was there another one, or I might be tripping? Okay, I think we only have 3 this time. That's fine. Go ahead and vote to your heart's content for one of the 3 items. As an anime only, the tower scene at the end was insane. I bet it was, man. I bet it was. I would love... I mean... you like, I'm just imagining the perspective of an anime only, right? Like, you tap in. It's... you see the episode is 90 minutes. You're like, holy shit, 90 minutes? And then... it's 90 minutes of them, like, having fun and playing, and you're like, oh. And then Regulus comes in, you're like, oh shit, wait. That's crazy. And then they go back to having fun plus playing, and you're like, oh. And then series pops out. Don't care plus having fun plus playing. Yeah, that's Subaru. That's Subaru trying his best to have one, like, good day outside. Wow. I don't... dude. The Globe Brigade keeps losing, and it makes me think that I haven't pushed a Globe theory enough. I guess I'll just keep it going later in Arc 5. I'll get back on the Globe train. Alright, Subaru statue it is. See, I see the Subaru statue somebody added me in Discord, but would that fit? It's kind of like a weird perspective. If it was just like front on, I could just put it on the desk. Homophobia wins today. That's because Arc 6 hasn't been adapted yet, that's all. Why is Arc 6 talked about more than the other arcs? Is it that amazing? So, there's a lot of things that I could say about this. I really do like Arc 6. It is my... It's tied for my second favorite arc. But it's also one of those arcs that people are gonna glaze to high heaven because it's dark. And you know how people are. You know how people are. Is it a long arc like Arc 4? It's shorter than Arc 4, I'm pretty sure. It's 5 volumes, although I don't know about page count. Basically confirmed that Season 3 will have 38 episodes. Sauce Jakes. Okay, first of all, Jakes was not the, not the source for that. Second of all, yeah, I heard. Arc 4 was your fave? Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's the front on one. Thank you, thank you. Alright, let me just... Arc 7, why is it so messy and confusing? I don't think anything about Arc 7 is really that confusing. Did my Discord just crash? Why is the cat being microwaved? He's chilling. Okay, get the Subaru statue in there. Let's go ahead and magic wand the background out real quick. Magic wand's pissing me off. There we go. Let me just get some of the edges here. Magic wand, goated tool in photo editing programs, and also kind of a shit, kind of shit sometimes too. I think it ate some of the box, but you're just gonna have to deal with that. Super statue, the lamest option. We could have had gay or globe. Well, you know how ReZero fans are. Let me defringe it by 1 pixel. Boom. The Crunchyroll subs were awkward sometimes. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw. I did retweet. I don't know how many people follow me here. But they also just kind of got something like objectively wrong. One of those objectively wrong levels where, like, I don't know how the fuck they came to that interpretation. Why did you squish Al's helmet? Because it's on a dog. I had to take some creative liberties because of that. In particular, it was that line of Subaru where he randomly says, for no apparent reason, it doesn't matter how much I suffer, even though like the context of that doesn't make any fucking sense. That's because that's not what he said. Believe it or not. He actually said, like, something about trampling on their hearts. Something like that. How much episodes will this season be? Probably around 38. The duality of man is crazy. Crunchyroll sub was horrible in French. They called the white whale Moby Dick for some reason. And then the immediate next message is, the French sub was actually pretty good. Will they fix in future? The unfortunate answer is probably no. But you can submit a complaint to Crunchyroll about that fucking stupid translation. And there's a 90% chance you get a response that's AI and doesn't understand what you're talking about. Alright, Jordan, you want to get in here, man? So you can... It's kind of hard to talk about Arc 5 when I've already read it. I don't know. Yeah, so like I can speculate. Don't worry, Game Boy Matthew. You see at the bottom of the screen here? It says anime only safe space. We're keeping you safe. Jordan, go ahead and call me on Discord whenever. I really thought the Owl Cut content would be revealed this episode. There's a couple of places where I think it could be re-added. Here, let me accept this man's call. Huh. Hello? Do I know you?
Dude.
Hey, man.
We made it, man.
We did.
The promised day has arrived.
Yeah, here, I'll add your little... I made a little desk for Jordan. He can sit next to me.
Hi, chat.
For those that don't know, Jordan is another content creator, Yozakura Sensei. He is also an anime only, and I wanted the anime only perspective too. Sorry, I just saw you got timed out again. That's crazy.
Dude, this dude, Bubba. Oh my god, dude. When I catch you, Bubba. When I catch you. Please, man. Let me live just this time. Just this time. I swear.
That's fucking crazy, man. Anyway.
This dude hates me, man.
Oh, I wanted to get an anime only on. Because talking about anime only content when you're notably not an anime only, it could be hard sometimes. So.
Yeah. It's pretty, you know, with me doing Yozakura Family all season, it's been like, talk like an anime only, think like a manga reader. You know what I mean?
I feel like when I was making the episode 1 video, I was kind of like, there are probably so many things you can speculate about in this episode, but from me, it's not speculation. So like, I can't, I don't want to include it.
Yeah, you gotta like voluntarily leave it out or say things that like, obviously you know, but you can't. You know, lean towards it. You gotta play it safe.
Who is this guy? I just said, man. I just went on a whole thing about who this guy is.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I think like the last time chat really came around was when you had pulled up for MHA.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. It's definitely been a minute. But I wrote down a lot of notes for this one episode. I've got an entire notepad just filled with the start. It's a little jumbled, but
so
yeah, okay, guys.
I guess my first question would be, it's been almost 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So it's been almost 4 years of you consuming basically no ReZero content, all that writing but no reading, huh? That's crazy.
That's crazy. Dude, let me breathe, man. Let me breathe. I'm cooking, chat. I just finished rewatching season 2.
It's been 4 years almost, and you haven't really consumed anything. I know you read Arc 4 web novel in between that, but that's not really new content.
Yeah.
How did it feel to come back after 4 years? Do you think that this episode was a bombastic return?
Definitely so. I definitely would say so, especially on the presentation side, because after finishing season 2 just recently, you know, Saturday or Sunday when I tweeted about it, just seeing like how much has changed just from the visuals department was very, very refreshing. There's certain, you know, there wasn't really any crazy cuts this episode that, you know, doesn't need to be. It's more so just the drawing, the direction, the certain shots with Garfield, for example. I'm sure you can picture the one I'm talking about. There's just it's a lot of good stuff. It feels fresh. You know what I mean? It very much feels like the anime is aging nicely so far, and you can tell just off the naked eye. You know, I don't feel like you have to be a hardcore, Sakuga enthusiast to be like, A, B, C, X, Y, Z. Like, it's very much there from the, updated character designs, and a lot of looks look cleaner. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
somebody asks how we feel about the new art style. Personally, I really thought that the season 2 character designs were kind of ugly.
Yeah, looking at it now, yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah,
there's a particular thing that you notice because I've obviously done a lot of editing of like switching between season 2 and season 1 footage. Season 2 does not look good. It looks washed out. The character designs look worse.
Yeah.
Season 3 is a tremendous step up in almost every regard. The character designs are way more preferable. The backgrounds are beautiful in season 3 so far.
Definitely. I think the first thing I noticed, especially, was just how Garfield looked when I saw his appearance in the mansion, and then just remembering like how he looked when he was fighting Elsa in season 2, and just just his general overall look. It is like a night and day difference. It looks a lot more fitting for like an actual character design. Like, you really just don't know how much this anime could have improved until you watch today, and you're like, man, that 4-year gap, like, things have definitely changed by far.
Yeah, the really big thing was how washed out, like I said, season 2 looked. I really prefer the return to the bright, colorful aspect for season 3.
Yeah, 100%, especially with Watergate. Man.
Yeah.
What a setting, man. It's such a welcome setting, considering we were surrounded by literally forest and barely any infrastructure the entirety of season 2. I very much welcome the scenery change this time.
Yeah.
Watergate is very pretty. Very, very good stuff there. But yeah, man, as far as just, going straight down the list from beginning to end, I guess we can start with, I like how Subaru's training right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's finally starting to train. I think Return by Death has been the main Return by Death, and then using his assets, aka his peers' strengths, to overcome all the hurdles. Very much welcoming. I like the whip. I think that's cool. I'm a big fan of weapons that aren't necessarily utilized as much in media. Like scythes,
it's
sickles,
not traditional.
stuff like that. Not traditional at all. And I think that's very cool for him. I'm curious to see how it will do in combat in the future. Especially with Betty, and that's my second point. She's here. And now they're a nice duo now, and I'm curious to see how that's going to play out now that it's been, apparently some time has passed now since season 2, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how far these two will go in combat. But just in general, this entire episode displayed their general relationship now, and it was just fun. I loved it. Every scene with them two, just the kimono scenes, the one with Subaru was like, this is my child, it was just it's just cute, man, and I enjoyed it. And it seems like she's really opened herself back up, to just shenanigans, imitating Subaru's kind of gimmicks a little bit here and there, and wanting to kind of, it's interesting because the finale of season 2, Roswell said that how, like, she's never going to be his number one because that's Amelia, but she was like, I'm trying to make him mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can really see that this episode with the little slightly competitive, little gags they had here and there, like cooking the traditional Japanese food in the house and all that good stuff. I like that stuff. You know what I mean? It's a really good little dynamic set up between them. And I'm glad that Betty's going to be much more around. Same with Otto, being the Eternal Affairs Officer now. Thought that was cool. Garfield's now the shield of Amelia. I think that's the correct term now.
Yeah, it is.
So that's cool. Good to see him around as well. Rest of the cast, Garfield's sister. Forgot her. Oh my God, what's her name? The little one.
Bro.
Yeah, Frederica. What's the little one's name? Orange hair. Oh my God.
Oh,
don't
Petra.
kill me. Yeah, Petra. Yeah, good to see them too as well. As far as the situation goes, with Anastasia, now this is very interesting. With the whole situation with Puck and wanting to get them back, essentially, right? I think it's a very interesting start for this season because it puts it puts Amelia in a bit of a deadlock situation if she ends up indebted to her with this whole transaction of the jewel, because they're obviously in competition, but if you're indebted, it's like, how do you kind of break out of this deadlock, right? And I'm sure Otto will be very much cognitive of that the entire season. But it was interesting. Also the Hoshin company, but I want to get to that in a second, because that that is interesting. As far as the arrival to Watergate goes, again, very beautiful, good change in atmosphere. I'm very much keen on the fact that the lore of the city was known as a trap city.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how that plays into the season, if there is anything I should be reading into that with. And I'll bring that up again in a few minutes here regarding the witch cult. But again, the city's nice. I like how they broke down, just kind of how things came to be. They got a broadcasting system. The water is controlled by magic stones. All that cool little stuff. I feel like that definitely could come into play if need be for whatever reason. But we'll wait for that to come. I don't want to dig too deep for somebody in chat. It's just like blows me with C4, like right with the biggest spoiler. I'm like, oh,
C4.
No, just straight up just flashbangs me. You know what I mean?
We got a lot of people ready to kill. Somebody asked if you're aware of the cut content, and partially, like, some.
Yeah, I know some regarding like Al, for example. I guess it really comes down to what specific parts you guys are referring to. I know that, I'll just say in a general sense, I know that light novel adaptations most notably get shafted with cut content, and I know ReZero is definitely no stranger. You know what I mean? I know for a fact that I will be watching every cut content video that comes out this season from you, because I want to be able to keep up with the dots this season for sure. Especially with the large amount of world building in this episode. It is insane. You know what I mean? It's very much a lot. And hold on, Titania asked me, what are the thoughts of the current royal selection standings? Who do you think will win? Let me come back to that, Titania, when we get to Priscilla, because I do want to come back to that. I do want to come back to that. I got some choice words for homegirl here. Yo, come on, dude. Listen, I got some choice words for her.
Crazy.
It's very, very, very interesting introduction or reintroduction for her. But
oh god, somebody asked, what's the cut content on Al?
Oh, does he know?
Look,
do they know?
I have 3 videos that are like 5 or 6 things you should know before ReZero season 3. You should tap in, buddy. That's all I'm gonna say. All right.
Yeah, that's as good as it's gonna be. Dude,
tap in.
Dude, that shit is massive, bro. That shit is massive. Let's see. So, arriving at the inn set up by Anastasia. The Hoshin the Wilderness Omega lore drop. That is huge. That is huge. You've told me about Al, but I feel like you've mentioned a long time ago. I think you did mention it was like 3 people. That was, okay.
Yeah.
So, this was very interesting because I know you said that Al got, Al's presence in this world is, different time frames essentially for how long these characters have been here, and Hoshin was there, way before. Yeah. And the influence of Japanese culture in this episode with the inn, the food, that was cool. You know what I mean? It's very interesting how this came to be with Anastasia, and I'm curious to see what else Hoshin might have left her. If there's anything that has been left. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's very, very interesting. It makes the world of ReZero, grow bigger in a sense of like the reverse isekai way, since he brought that stuff here. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he's not here anymore. His presence is no longer here. So very interesting there.
There are like little cut content details that I didn't bother including in the video because they're not that big of a deal.
Right.
There was a little minor cut that is kind of interesting, I guess, within the context of the anime, because in that scene when Subaru was thinking about how the inn is all like Japanese themed and stuff, and he was like, oh, the person who designed this must be from Japan like me. The minor cut detail is that in the novel he says, oh, this person must be isekai like me and Al, but they obviously they cut the
ricochet
they cut the Al part, unfortunately.
Yeah, That's unfortunate, dude. I feel like this outcut content is definitely gonna ricochet more than once this season. And it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. As far as the bigger picture goes, discussing gluttony, we get to see Krush there and Felt there coming up as well. Also cool to see Felt again this season, but I'm curious to see if there is a big moment here for Otto, because Anastasia seems to be taking like some serious like 2 steps ahead type measures regarding the other candidates, right? For Krush, it's her memories to get rid of gluttony, and then not only does it benefit Emilia for Puck, but for Subaru, it's also Rim. You know what I mean? And I genuinely wonder, how can we get a leg up on Anastasia outside of this impending conflict, right? Because it's not going to be that easy to outsmart such a clearly businesswoman. You know what I mean? I think Subaru called her a salesman in like the episode. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I think that's a very good way to tie all these royal candidates in. Obviously, we have 2 new characters here this week. Well, a bunch of new characters, but as far as the good characters, we have the heir to the Moose Company, Kiritaka. Didn't really, we didn't get much from him. This episode.
A good thing.
Yeah, it seems like I shouldn't expect much.
He got cut.
Okay, well,
it's for the best. It's for the best.
Okay. As far as the other new character though, Liliana, very fun character. I know this is the one that people were not people, but that side of the community were, losing their minds over for the, just giving her some decent clothing. Type shit. She was fun. Whoever's singing, whoever her VA is really cool. Good job with the singing. The first song was like, kind of all right, and then she kind of snapped with the second one. Seeing Subaru kind of join in with her was fun. You know what I mean? I don't know if I should expect any major developments from her, based off her interaction with Priscilla towards the end of the episode, especially with her family lore and how they're basically people who are not bound by territory / person. But I do like their character. It seems to be kind of like an embodiment of, not embodiment, but it adds a little bit more life to the city of Watergate. You got this, person who's going around doing singing, nice little stuff there. Obviously the gag with Subaru and the so apparently people have had multiple translations for what she called him in terms of the nickname.
Oh, brother.
It was I've seen like 3 different like translations, man. Like one from like Crunchyroll and like one from 2 different other subs. But cool, funny joke there, whatnot.
Sure, funny.
Yeah. Somebody shouted Diddy.
Diddy Mitchell's fucking content.
Yeah, she was cool. You know what I mean? Nothing major, but she was cool. I can't wait to see if she has any major roles. If she provides anything, that would be cool. Let's see here. As far as the royal candidates,
we got fucking anime only safe space on screen. That's 1 billion to Israel right there. Look what you did. I'm
not looking. Hey, I got my right hand in front of the chat right now. I'm gonna let it scroll. I will let it scroll.
It's okay. It's gone.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Let me see here. What else do I have in my notes, dude? God, these are so all over the place, man. Let's see here. Oh, okay. The pull-up. Okay, regular. Okay, so as I'm watching the episode, okay, I'm leaning back in my chair. Okay, you know that image that's like the person who's leaning back in their chair and then they like
they sit up. They lock in.
Dude, I kid you not. I sat up so fast because I have to remember that Subaru and crew never actually met this dude, and Emilia only met him. Not even met him. Only became aware of his existence through the memories. However, in the memories from the trial, Ikenda made them move to the final stage, so she didn't probably get enough context to remember him. And he got sent away as well, so that also kills a lot of the memorization for him too. So when I sat up, my immediate thought was, holy shit, every time Emilia goes outside, they're always there. They're like always there now. Like, holy shit, dude. Her presence is actually a problem, man. they're clearly coming for her. For 100%, they're coming for her. And that's gonna be interesting to see, because he's not gonna be alone. Gluttony's there, and obviously we have a new person who made a hell of a splash this episode,
Yes.
but we'll get there. As far as Garfield goes, boy, oh boy. Let's start with Garfield and Reinhardt. So it's interesting I'm very much interested of what they do with Garfield. And I guess I want to splurge on his context a little bit, because he has a lot this season.
Splooge?
Two different critical points of character, or mainly more so three, I want to say. One with his inferiority with strength, right? Reinhardt pulled up, and that man sent the shivers of God down his spine, and he immediately tried to go for the hit. And Reinhardt was like, "Hey, dude, like, I'm Jake from State Farm type."
Caught him
effortlessly.
effortlessly. Light work, no reaction.
And was like, can you calm him down? I was not expecting Garfield to have this fear of weakness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never interpreted, I guess because that's how the episode played out, but Elsa and Elsa haunting him too, that that manifestation, or of embodiment of his weakness being haunted by Elsa's image.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting too. That's very interesting, because when you go back and look at how Garfield was constantly talking about how I'm the only one who can protect the sanctuary, it'll be me, I'll do this, I'm staying here because his mom's context and all that good stuff, and his backstory with the trial, you can clearly see that he wants to be that guy all the time if he can, but he's not that guy right now, and not in the presence of Reinhardt. Yeah.
Two things. One, absolutely. Especially because, you're brought out of the forest and you're brought into, this big wide world. And and the first guy you run into is literally the strongest guy ever. And you're just shit.
Yeah.
Someone in chat asks, what did Subaru mean by the kingdom not having faith in Wilhelm or Reinhardt if Heinkel went against the kingdom? That conversation was kind of cut. I don't know if you saw that, Jordan, in my video.
Yeah, I did. I actually went back when I hit you up and said and I was finishing up my notes. I went back and rewatched that just to make sure I kind of could make some sense of that conversation.
Yeah,
based off the anime's interpretation, but yeah, it's a little iffy with the anime.
So with the discussion between Subaru and Julius, there's a few things. They kind of partially re-added some content, which is a first, I think. They mentioned that a Lagunican noble was kidnapped as a baby 15 years ago.
Okay, so that's the royal, right? That's the royal family.
That was cut from season 3 or arc 1, but that should have been a while ago. What they didn't include is that kidnapped baby was probably Felt. And yeah, well, you didn't know that?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that yeah, I did. It just clicked in my head. It just clicked in my head. That's right. Okay.
And they cut a couple of parts from the conversation. Right. So we got a little bit back and we lost some other parts. Julius talks about how with Reinhardt and Heinkel's strange relationship, the kingdom is worried that if Heinkel goes to Reinhardt and is like, "Hey, you should do something fucking crazy," he'll do it.
Right. I see. Manipulation.
Yes. Which is what Subaru line is more pointed towards, but they cut that part out, so the Subaru line kind of doesn't really make that much sense.
Okay. Yeah, the anime, it comes off a little weird in the anime. I kind of had a feeling that it was like a familial revolt towards the kingdom, basically. But yeah, dude, that doesn't make sense. Let me add that in my notes, actually.
And because of that, the kingdom does what they can to keep Heinkel in a good mood, even though he's a fucking asshole.
You got that right, golly.
And the next part that they cut is that Heinkel was suspected to be involved in the kidnapping of that royal from 15 years ago, but they don't have proof of it.
Dang. Now that is interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah. And that all trickles back down to Reinhardt and Wilhelm. Yeah. That's
the final part of that conversation that was cut is Heinkel declined going to the White Whale. I think that part was included, but he was the one who made Teresia go fight the White Whale.
Right.
So that should be everything that was cut from that conversation. There were other minor cuts around the episode, but they don't really matter that much.
Yeah. As expected. I think, dude, for 90 minutes, man, they did a
Yeah.
lot of world building
Yeah.
this episode. They did a lot. And just to close off Garfield for a second here, the second major surprise, mom.
Yeah.
Wowzers. Dude, I was genuinely surprised to see, but what's interesting too is that when I watched season 2 the other day, I know they show like how the carriage she was leaving off of had a incident, but
Yeah.
there was no body in
Yeah,
that
the age-old
flashback
rule,
either.
right?
Right, and I kind of didn't want to like overthink it. I kind of felt like the author or Taipei was just probably like, broken carriage, job's done. But
Yeah.
there is no body, and sure enough, she's here. With
age
other
old
little
rule,
people.
dude. If they're little people.
Yeah, little people, man. And I was like, damn, like this is really going to put Garfield in a really interesting spot this season, because I feel like his strength will waver when they really need it the most in this first half. Maybe could be wrong. Could be a long-term thing with this. What is it, like defense and then offense split with the 8 and 8 episodes? Could be that. I don't know what to expect, but I do like how they're tying in a lot of character arcs this season that are a little bit more on the emotional side of beats, with people who may come off as strong people. You know what I mean? Granted, they did that with Garfield last season, of course, but now it's like another tier this season, in my opinion. Because the trial, I feel like once he kind of swallowed that bullet, he kind of, he was locked in for the rest of the season. But now he's really kicked down. And as far as the royal, or the how you pronounce the name again, the Astria family drama, dude, that's a lot to unpack. That's a lot to unpack this season with them. Of course, grandfather and grandson drama is one thing. The regrets with Wilhelm, and basically kind of, at first I didn't, prior to when dad showed up, you know what I mean, I was wondering like what exactly could he have possibly yelled at Reinhardt for, because Reinhardt was a kid in that flashback, you know what I mean? And then you get to the full-on context with how apparently William was the one in charge of the rescue mission for that royal family member, and he sent he sent his wife to go fight the white whale, and then she died, and he wasn't there. He couldn't be there to help fight against the white whale that day. He blames him, and it's trickled down so much, man. And I think that it's going to be a very good season for that family as well, to see how they, not only how Wilhelm and Reinhardt rekindles their relationship, but also how do we deal with dad here? How do we really deal with him? Because to deal with him, I feel like you also have to deal with now I'm sure there's multiple things in play here with him, but Priscilla. And in my notes here for Priscilla, I have in quotation marks major dickhead. Because holy moly, dude.
She's chill, man.
Dude, she's so fucked up, bro. She brings basically the manifestation of how can I trauma dump on my family even more to the party.
She's just trying to make it more interesting for the viewer, man.
Dude, interesting is definitely.
She's just chill. She's just trying to have a good time, man.
Dude,
women can't have hobbies anymore.
Dude, her hobbies is literally like dropping a match on like an entire mansion full of gasoline and watching it explode in the most insanely loud way possible. Also, Al, your boy.
Oh
I know you were happy to see your boy.
The whole rest of the episode was just filler, man.
It peaked at Al, huh?
Yeah, it peaked it out. It just kind of tanked after that. I don't know.
Good to see him again. Of course, I'm sure there was some, maybe some bits of content with him.
A couple. I didn't include them in the video because they're not super notable, though. So.
Right. That's fair. Priscilla inviting herself to the party, though. Definitely gonna spice things up, because it seems like she's definitely one of the main pain in the asses amongst all the royal candidates. Like, I think I did enjoy seeing how, in comparison to Priscilla, Felt has gone and really kind of reasoned with the lower class / maybe you would label them as criminals, maybe. Oh, speaking of criminals, let me scroll up here because what's his name?
Oh,
Starts
Ratchins?
with R. Ratchins. That was, even though he wasn't like a notable character in season one or anything like that, outside of the fact that he tried to,
Yeah.
bully Subaru and take his shit. Interesting to see him back. I'm wondering, does he have hands? Does he have hands?
I thought it was a good moment of not just telling us about how Felt is recruiting these people that are seen as worthless, but also like actually showing us that she's doing it too by getting the guy like Ratchins in.
Yeah, that was very interesting to see him make a return after so long. You know what I mean? And I'm curious to see how he will be in this season as a representative of Felt's group. You know what I mean? How he will fare if he can actually fight. Maybe not. I'm pretty sure maybe Reinhardt's probably the main fighter, but just how he fares, or if he's just serving that purpose, like you said, perfectly fine too. It's still good character growth on Felt's part. Also,
Someone in chat. So you remember all three of the guys from the alleyway?
yes, yes,
Like the little one?
yeah.
He has a divine protection. Do you want to hear what it is?
Is there Reinhardt level divine protection?
No. Well, I mean,
okay.
It depends on how you want to interpret it.
Okay, what is it?
He's really good at fucking.
Yeah. yeah.
That's his divine protection.
Bro has aphrodisiac +1 on his character, bruh. That's crazy. How do you even? You know what? I don't even want to know. Don't even explain it to me. Don't tell me. Don't tell
So
me.
I mean, if you want to interpret that as Reinhardt level, I guess you can.
Why did Tepe write that? What is the significance of that information?
I don't know, but I think he has Deku's voice actor, so you should be a big fan.
Okay, never mind. We're done. Anyway, well, gosh damn it. Of course he does.
My bad.
Even on the final few episodes, I can't escape.
Immaculate strokes as your hacks is crazy.
Priscilla, also Yang sword, interesting, cool sword. I can assume that Priscilla knows how to throw hands as well. Very interesting to see if she will have a 1-on-1 or any type of encounter with Al, or a 2-on-1 for all I know with Al. Can't wait to see what comes from her though, because her presence, an unwelcome presence is typically the one presence that spices up the situation as shown. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see who may go down in this royal candidate selection ratings here in this arc. I expect something else to shift, because even though Crucia's memories have been gone or are gone or whatnot, everybody has been maintaining some form of momentum in some way. Priscilla inherited her late husband's mansion and wealth, and now anybody who's been doing business with her has kind of conceded to her position right now, right?
Yeah.
Then you got Felt working with the lower class, Amelia and Crush and everything with the white whale, and just everybody's doing their momentum right now. And I'm curious to see who will get taken down a peg this season, if anything, because again, I don't expect everybody to walk out this season unscathed. Something's going to happen to somebody by far. I just don't know who, and I don't know where or when, but I will prepare to be jaw dropped when it happens.
Titania asks, "Is this a good place to give your rankings for the royal selection?"
For the royal man, it's kind of hard to rank them because it's like, in terms of significance, right? It technically wouldn't it be like a mix between like anybody who participated in the white whale? And you could say, like, in terms of effort, I guess, in like a world building perspective, Emilia might have the edge because she's now taken out. She's contributed to the white whale, but then she's now taken out a second great beast with the rabbits, and she freed the sanctuary. So I guess in terms of like a wider picture, maybe she has the edge. However, you can't excuse what you can't overlook what Felt's been doing as well.
Yeah.
She's come a long way as well. And I feel like people like Anastasia and Priscilla have already been kind of been in a good position already. Crush, I feel like, is in a stable spot, But whether or not she'll stay there, I feel like may depend on her memories and just how far things go for her in the season as well.
There's 2 points here. One point that I was kind of surprised was cut from the anime, but there's still chances to add it back, and it's also not really that big of a deal yet.
Mhm.
Their act of killing the Great Rabbit is not recognized officially because nobody was there except for them, so nobody can prove it.
Wow, you're kidding. So wait, not even like if all the villagers from the sanctuary spoke up and vouched, that doesn't count?
No, they don't. I mean, I'm sure some people believe it, but the attitude around it is more so like, I mean, you weren't really like working with the involvement of other camps, so like.
Wow. And I guess the sanctuary liberation is more of a personal thing related to the witches in Roswell
Yeah.
too. So that, oh wow, okay. Well, that actually evens the scoreboard a little bit out then. That's actually kind of tough though. That's really unfortunate.
Someone says the bard recognized it. Yeah, it's in that moment, actually, that was cut, where she recognizes it, but then also goes, it's also not officially recognized.
Oh wow, that's right. That's right. Cause she did list out all the accomplishments, and you know that's interesting because that also I think her recognizing it kind of shows that like word has traveled. You know what I mean to some degree, right? Because how would she know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's like their first meeting. So how would she know unless some type of word has traveled? And considering that she's been around from place to place, you know, like how much time has passed from the sanctuary till Watergate? It's been like a year, hasn't it?
It's been a year,
In
yeah.
universe time.
And,
Yeah, so like I wouldn't be surprised if Liliana, hypothetically speaking, of course, just going off a whim, but she could have visited the town where the people free from the sanctuary has been, and they could have found out from her, and then she moved to Watergate, and then just the stars align. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and someone else also mentions that they said it would be recognized if there was no activity from the Great Rabbit scene for 10 years. So 9 years left.
Oh my god, that's actually crazy, bro. Actually, that's actually crazy. Okay, so I guess the scoreboard is more even. I really feel like maybe in terms, I guess right now, if anything, Amelia and Crucius Camp have a slight edge. Crucius Camp, Amelia's Camp, and Anastasia's Camp might have a slight edge just because of the white whales participation group effort. You know what I mean? I don't know how much influence Priscilla has at large yet. I genuinely don't know. Her ego is massive as hell, don't get me wrong, but in terms of like how the people would look at the situation now with the white whale, especially if like if you took the people from the sanctuary who were freed and then put the council, everybody who was present during the first royal selection and all that good stuff, if everybody were to give their points of recognition, including the people who were there from the Great Rabbit, I genuinely wonder how would perception be, even if there is criteria that, it won't be recognized, how would the perception turn out, especially when Priscilla, we didn't really participate compared to everybody else. You know what I mean? And now that is a good point. Game Boy did mention in the chat that Crush is not doing well. Yeah, and she's not, which is why I said stable. I guess
the polls are down, boys.
Yeah, she's more stable, if anything, right? She's not like on a negative decline per se, but she's not doing as high as she initially was. No thanks to Gluttony. You know what I mean?
Anyone in chat voting for Felt? I'm voting for Felt. I'll be honest with you. Easy vote.
It would be kind of fun to see Felt win. Not gonna lie. I know narratively, like everybody might just root for Amelia. You know what I mean? But it would be interesting to see if Felt would win. I feel like it'd be like it'd be like the biggest, turning the world upside down ever. For a lower class peasant, quote unquote, lower class peasant, quote unquote. You know what I mean? To come in and switch up the entire table again. You know what I mean? Especially with her position. Remove being that royal child, whatnot, and then she's coming back into that position years later. But this time, she's not necessarily harboring a royal mindset. She's somebody that is rooting for the people on a very real basis because she's been there with those lower class people. So that's going to be interesting to see. The royal family drama.
One thing that wasn't mentioned about Priscilla, I went back and I just opened up volume 16 just now, just to look. One thing that wasn't mentioned is that the lands that she inherited from her husband are right next to the nation of Wallachia, which is a nation that is extraordinarily aggressive, and
Oh,
she was able to pacify the
the
empire that's on the
nation.
border. Yeah,
Oh,
at least the
okay.
regions within the border, or like next to the border.
I see. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure that something like that is probably recognized, I imagine, in the grand scheme of things. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. What else? And then the finale. Okay. Oh god, here we go. Okay, so again, Regulus already present. You know, just kind of stroking around town, waiting, biding his time. When we, I mean, you know, if I mispronounce his name correctly, you know, feel free to correct me. Sirius?
Yeah,
Sirius?
it's serious. Yeah.
Okay, so Sirius appearing in the town already was like, okay, here we go. You know, let me lean forward for the rest of the episode, okay? And at first, my impression of the situation was, is anybody else not like a little scared, a little worried? You know what I mean? Because everybody's like, you know, son, you're the best of us, son. You know, don't be scared, be a man. You know, ABC and XYZ. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, this is a child in chains, held by a person you don't know over a tower in the middle of the day by a person
Yeah.
wrapped in bandages. Like, it was just so many red flags. And I'm like, why is nobody
Why is everyone so
questioning this?
chill?
Yeah, why is everybody so chill? And then Subaru was like asking like a casual question. I'm like, bro, you should be like summoning Betty, fucking Sharmak, like you know, like red alert, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, you see this filter, there's kind of like this heavenly kind of this filter, you know, placed on the episode, and everybody's eyes are red, and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I
this
see.
shit's a little more real.
It's a little bit more real, and everybody starts clapping, and you know, everybody starts crying. And I'm like, oh, it's too late. The Sin Archbishop of Wrath. Interesting take on Wrath, because it sounds, you know, her personality, it comes off a little bit more like, I don't know, it's a little silly. I don't know if charismatic is the word, but it's like captivating in a really like weird, like really like, I don't know, creepy way. It's captivating in a creepy way, right? Because you have this person dancing on the rooftop with bandages, and it's like, you know, can I ask you guys a question? And she's like, you know, thank you, I'm sorry. And it's like this weird, you know, kind of like, you know, that weird, you know, sins attitude they all have, dependent on their authority and whatnot. But her voice actor did a real good job. It was very dramatic, very, you know, very
really
sincere to the role. Yeah, very good character acting on her part. And of course, you know, what is a ReZero season without the first official return by death? And I'm curious now to see, how does her authority even work? Because it's like when she dropped the kid to the ground, right, and he died, everybody's heads exploded. Now, granted, that could have been like a directional thing where it's just like right when he died, everybody in the same area died. But it's like, can you not look at her? Can you not be in her presence? Can you not entertain her? Like, what is the condition to be entranced by her? Because it wasn't like that at first, but as the conversation continued, they slowly just spiraled into her madness, and then it just, you know what I mean? And then you know, Subaru was like, I feel sick, and ooh, you know, and it's like, that's two Sin Archbishops already present in the city. We can already assume that there'll be two more, considering Gluttony and the one from the trailer, Miss I don't know what to call her. I'm gonna call her Miss Birdie. Miss Birdie will be here very soon. You know, it's just interesting, you know, and it goes back to how Watergate is a trap city. I'm wondering, will there be a giant water Maybeast this season that they try to use, you know, the infrastructure of Watergate against them by chance? And I wonder, is that how they will use, you know, if hypothetically speaking, right, if there's a giant water Maybeast, right, obviously, like, forces are going to be split up dealing with Sin Archbishops, their troops, right? If, you know, if our group takes down the water Maybeast, could that be leverage for Otto to use against Anastasia for not having the complete leg up on us in terms of favors? You know what I mean? We get the crystal from Puck, but we saved your city from this Maybeast that was basically going to slaughter your entire town and city. You know what I mean? Because this whole battle is taking place on Anastasia's turf. So this is more so a defense round, a reactive defense round, if you will. So I feel like fighting in the city not only benefits them if they're able to kill a Sin Archbishop, but it also benefits them in terms of if Anastasia being in their debt. You know what I mean as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see what occurs. But again, considering this is a group project where everybody's kind of gathered, it may just be kind of a mutual interest thing. I'm just curious to see what role will Otto have this season, especially with all the work he put in last season to get on Roswell's good side. You know what I mean? It's very much something I kind of look forward to seeing if Otto will have his moment this season, because last season he did a lot. He did a lot for season 2. Monumental dedication for season 2. Even if he doesn't have a giant role, especially in terms of combat this season, I'm very much a fan of like negotiations and making sure, terms of agreement are fair. Spice and Wolf, big fan of Spice and Wolf, finishing that recently, all that bartering, trade, all I guess I like that type of stuff. I like political negotiations. So I'm very much looking to see what the Amelia camp will gain at the end of all of this as well, outside of a gem for Puck, if Puck even, decides to actually pull back up. But yeah, man, hell of an episode. It's a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, it's 90 minutes.
It was
That's a big fucking episode.
It's practically a movie, man. Like, this is a movie episode. A lot of context this episode, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how we go into next week. It's 8 episodes. I assume that things pop right off next episode. You know what I mean? Subaru, knowing Subaru, I know he's probably not going to want to endanger people, but those people are probably going to be in danger if he chooses not to go there. So how do we, go at it? And I'm pretty sure it's going to be, bring Betty, sound the alarm, and, let's get it going. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, I genuinely don't know what to expect, just with the amount of character beats that need to be crossed off this season. There's a giant checklist already, between the family drama, between Garfield, between what the Sin Archbishops are here again years later, especially for Amelia, because this is basically a rematch. I kind of hope that Amelia and Regulus go at it. I really do. I really hope that Amelia and Regulus go at it. I really hope that she kind of clocks that he is the source of literally all the problems. Granted, of course, well, not all the problems, considering it's like a 50-50.
He caused poverty. That's crazy.
Yeah. he played a big part, back in the Sanctuary's memories. I'm curious to see if they'll go at it, how everybody fares this season as well in terms of surviving. And yeah, man, I mean, other than that, this is a really good day for ReZero. Again, I'm excited to see, the staff list in these next couple of weeks, especially because, again, with there's quite a few names. We won't talk about it now, but there's some people. There's some people coming by on this anime. There are some people coming by on ReZero. Some of you all should be very excited, especially with the effects department. And with Sengoku Yoko wrapping up in like literally a couple of weeks, I'm curious to see if anybody will just kind of move on, the ReZero staff and lend a hand more so in the later half of this cour, if anything, to primarily the second half of Arc 5, if anything. That to me sounds more reasonable, because that's like, it's kind of like how people expect Nakamura to just magically appear on MHA right when the movie is done, even though he just finally came this past weekend. You know what I mean? So but it's definitely looking very good as far as just changes across the board. Again, a lot of good shots, a lot of good line art, especially. There's some scenes I just noticed with Garfield and when Subaru and Amelia were talking at the very beginning of the episode about going to Watergate. There's a certain shot with Subaru and his side profile. It looked sharp. You know what I mean? It looks really sharp, really distinct. And I feel like, that consistency is going to be upheld because of an 8-8 split. You know what I mean? Even with an hour-and-a-half long kickoff, and even with, episodes maybe, most likely being extended to 30 minutes, maybe even longer for all we know, they get ambitious. You know, that consistency definitely most likely will be upheld for the long term, which is very, very good for
Yeah.
White Fox, especially for them having such an ambitious year doing the entirety of Sengoku's story. And now you're talking about 30 plus episodes for ReZero. I mean, they're pretty much doing like 70 plus episodes over these next 2 years total, which is
Yeah,
insane for
that's.
White Fox.
I understand why people were kind of apprehensive about it, but personally, I was chilling. I was chilling.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I feel like just knowing White Fox's track history too, with watching other series like Katanagatari, which is an old, fan favorite classic of White Fox. White Fox doesn't do ambitious unless they feel like they know they can do ambitious. You don't really hear a negative track record about White Fox of all people. You hear more about Mappa or literally anybody else. But it's been a good year, especially when they've kind of calmed down on how much they were doing between, because from ReZero to season 2 to now, White Fox hasn't really done like too much anime in between.
I think
now
there was
and
only
then.
one, maybe two.
Yeah, there was I think there was only one as well. I think
Yeah.
they did I think it was only
Some
one.
random shit.
Yeah, I think that I think that actually is true, to be honest with you, because I'm looking at their catalog right now. Sengoku Yoko is their most latest, and then they did one in 2019 called Cautious Hero, which was a good anime.
Yeah.
But before then, they've been pretty quiet for a long time now, and I guess they've been really cooking in the long term for ReZero. You know what I mean? Which is very, very good. And I hope they continue to double down for ReZero, because this is probably their best investment yet by far.
Somebody asks, is 16 episodes a reasonable amount for Arc 5? I think when you have a first episode that's basically like 4 episodes, it's probably fine.
Yeah,
You kind of have to take that into account for the episode count.
Yeah, I was doing that too, because an hour and a half, man, 24 minutes, 23, 24 minutes on average for the average anime episode. That's about 4, 4, maybe pushing 5, give or take commercials, on official Japanese airing commercial wise. That's a good amount of content. You know what I mean? And considering episode 1 was shown back in, what was that, Anime NYC?
Yeah.
They were
shown in LA first.
Yeah, LA, that's right. Yeah. Expo, there we go. Considering it was shown then and they had it done at the time was already a good sign, because they've had a good amount of extra ample time to push on deep into Arc 5. Whether or not they're close to finishing this first part, no clue, because they can easily have their schedule caught up to them by extending episodes. You know what I mean? Constant 30-minute episoders, that will extend the schedule, even though it's by only 6 more minutes. That does extend it.
I'm pretty sure this is public information, but Core 1 has been done for a bit now.
Oh shit! I actually didn't know that. I actually did not know that.
I think Core 1 has been done.
Okay.
I can't
That's
speak for anything beyond that, but it might be closer to Core 1 was basically done.
Basically done. I believe that. I will believe basically done for sure, because I expect them to pretty much get started with Core 2. What are we in October? In November, by easily.
Yeah.
If anything, they easily will get back started with
Endeavor
Core 2.
Agency flashbacks.
Oh god, don't remind me, bro. Oh. Yeah. Core 1 being basically done, and then again, I think the 8-8 split is very cool for them. I have never, as much as I've watched over the years, 8-8 is a first for me. I've seen 4 and 12s, 12, 12s, 24 and 12, but 8 and 8 is very interesting.
I am interested because there's been a lot of discussion in the novel community about 8 and 8, how it's going to affect the pacing. So obviously there's you don't know what happens, so you might have a harder time answering, but as an anime only, how do you feel about an 8-8 split with 11 weeks in between?
I honestly think it will be fine. I'm gonna be honest. If this, so based off what you've told me, right, this content holds on its own quite well. You know what I mean? Like it's competent. Taipei did his thing here. You know what I mean? I do not mind, a short break. I really don't. I understand people are worried about that break, specifically because of the fact that winter 2025 anime will start to kick off during that short break. But I think that you people will be more fine than they realize,
You
at least
people.
this year. Notably because the winter 2025 lineup, especially right now, is not that impressive. Truth be told, it's mainly between Sakamoto days and solo leveling, right? In terms of
Saka
like what
doo-doo
people,
days.
yeah, in terms of like what people may like, have like a large shift on. Winter 2025 is shaping up to be like whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like ReZero,
Yep.
especially when you've told me that this second half is a hell of a lot better than the first. I feel like ReZero is gonna really sweep 2025 winter as
Yeah.
well. But again, I understand the concern, right? You want consistent traction,
Mhm.
but I think people need to very much take into consideration that consistency, if there's a major call for the sake of consistency, especially with the anime, and if they felt like taking a break was necessary in order to make sure
Yep.
core 2 is consistent, that you gotta give it, man. You really gotta give it, man, because
Um,
these days it's just rare to see anything like this in the
I
first place.
and obviously I'm not gonna say any specifics, but I also do think people underrate what's gonna happen in Core 1, because a lot of people, because Core 2, I mean, I'm sorry if this counts as a spoiler to some people, but Core 2 is where a lot of the meat of Arc 5 is. But
Mhm.
it doesn't mean that our
Right.
Core 1 is like ass.
Mhm.
There's a lot of cool shit in Core 1 still.
Yeah, I mean, again, just the world building, the character beats being set up, and the fact that just the fact that the Sin Archbishops are pulling up to somebody's territory, right? They've never
Mhm.
pulled up the Roswell's mansion, right? They didn't pull up during like the fight of the White Whale. It's probably none of their business. They didn't care. You know what I mean? But the fact that they're pulling up, and it's multiple of them pulling up to a grouping of royal candidate
Mhm.
selection people, right? And all these people who are present are power player characters. Their very beings are they're very important characters in the grand narrative of this royal selection. That's cool because you have a lot at stake here. You know what I mean? If somebody goes down, that's somebody's entire camp going down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That eliminates somebody off the board. That narrows the scope of things as well. That's monumental. And then on top of just narrative connections between Krush and Subaru with Gluttony, with Regulus and Emilia with the past. And then these two new Sin Archbishops who we've met one with Sirius, and then we're meeting another one down the line, it would seem. I'm curious to see what is the connection between Sirius and Emilia based off the trailer subtitles, because it seems like they've got something there. I could be wrong, but it seems like they got some beef, or maybe it was just kind of like just beef of being two different witches, essentially, quote unquote, for Amelia more so. But it's very interesting what's been set up here, and even if season 2 ends up like being like the most drop dead, insane stuff, you know what I mean? Core 1 is shaping up to be pretty intensive, just based off the fact that they got a lot of the exposition out the way with this 90-minute episode. I
Yeah.
felt like, I didn't mind things like being kind of amusing, or, I didn't feel like this episode was slow, but if anybody felt it was slow because of the like amusing parts and the laughs and, the jokes and banter, I didn't mind it. You know what I mean? It's cool because once stuff starts hitting the fan for ReZero, it tends to not slow down at all
Mhm.
for whatever reason. Not for whatever, for any reason. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a good trait of its weekly momentum, because every episode feels like, damn, this just happened and this is how it ended. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, is a very good
Yeah.
aspect about ReZero. They
Uh,
know how to end an episode to make you want to come back each week.
if you don't have moments like some of the moments in this episode, then when shit does hit the fan, it's not really like, it doesn't have any meaning. It's just action figures slamming together, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need these moments of character interaction to build relationships, to build encounters, to build conflicts and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
if people feel it's slow, it is what it is. You're not wrong. It is slow. but
Mm.
I guess it just
Yeah.
depends on the level of investment.
Yeah. Yeah. But from what I've seen, I think everybody is pretty much, pretty hyped for the most
Yeah.
part. I mean, again,
90-minute
good stuff.
episode. 90-minute episode is impeccable. Cause could you imagine if this was like 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, see, 3 or 4 weeks of this, now that would have been pushing it. I think, I think this was definitely the right call when it comes to heavy exposition. Because even with cut corners, you still feel like you walked out with a lot of information about what we're presented with, both in the wider narrative and what we're presented with personally with certain characters, their relationships, and certain dynamics. You know what I mean? And because I have all this information now in my notepad, I can't say ReZero didn't do this, right? That's the one thing.
Yeah.
You can say that the ReZero anime cut stuff, sure, but you can't say that they didn't set up certain relations in certain moments to come full circle throughout this season. That's just the one thing you can't say they didn't do. Is episode 90. I'm sorry, episode 1 with 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Did all that. You know what I mean? And that to me, that's hats off to White House or White Fox. Jesus Christ, White
You need
Fox.
to get it together, man.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. I'm
making a
reading
fool
chat
of
at the same
yourself.
time. I'm reading chat at the same time while I'm trying to speak to make sure nobody, I don't miss anybody's question. Somebody did ask if I was gonna be here for the episode 2 stream. Hey, I will definitely swing by and type in chat. If you want to hear me yap again, by all means,
You will be invited on
no
every
good.
episode, okay?
Oh yeah. I will be here then. Every Wednesday, I will gladly be here. Be up to
We need
get up
that
to
anime only
talk.
perspective, because if the anime only section was only up to me, this section would be like 5 minutes long. Because there's only so much I can say because I've read everything.
Yeah. I think that's definitely fair. That's definitely fair. I feel like you guys would do more like anime criticism of the presentation and pacing
Yeah.
more than the content, because you guys are already like in the know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very much in the know of what's to come. But yeah, man, this is a very good triumphant start for ReZero. I'm very much looking forward to seeing
That's one
now
episode.
where how much have they improved in the action department now with ReZero, because it's not like ReZero, it's not like ReZero is the most insanely action heavy show, but it does go hand in hand with the conflicts that occur with like the witch cult and stuff like that and all that good stuff, but I am curious to see what have they improved upon. You know what I mean? We can talk about the cut with Felt. We can talk about Garfield's fight with Elsa, right? We can talk about just like movement with Ram and versus Ros. God, I'm tweaking. Roswell, you know what I mean? We can talk about those things, right? But I'm curious to see how do more one-on-one encounters go. Do they give, do we get some character acting, dramatics, you know what I mean, with some of the witches, or not witches, sin archbishops, you know what I mean? Do we get some insane, effects and combinations with certain abilities and spells going at it with each other? You know what I mean? I'm very curious to see how White Fox has stepped up their game in that department too, because I feel like that also will contribute to the overall traction that people are worried about disappearing when we take the month break or so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You give like the anime community, it's a simple to please community, man. You give them cuts. You give the Sakuga folk, some very good information about what they're doing behind the scenes with the direction, all that good stuff. They will write articles. You know what I mean? You guys will have the ammunition to keep the talk going for that month. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people are excited to see how ReZero has evolved, because it's been so long.
I've seen how you MHA fans twerk for your subpar episodes, so should be fun.
Hey, not too much on Todoroki family, right?
Okay, I'll give you credit where credit is due. That episode is phenomenal, okay?
Yeah. Woo, man. Did not miss with that one.
That's one out of 21. Pretty good track record.
Oh, brother, here he goes. 1 out of 21 is insane.
All right, I was joking. It's 2 out of 21. It's fine.
All right, there we go. That's much better. And now we're cooking. Now we're cooking with fire here. But yeah, man, character acting is more important to me than action. Hot take. Character acting, I think character acting over the years, Game Boy has definitely become a very much more appreciated aspect. I think people like seeing, rotoscope stuff, just being able to see characters emulate real life action. It's very impressive because it's a lot harder to do because you're animating a lot more intensely with a lot like you're focusing a lot more on the anatomy of a character, right? Rather than like the overall overarching action, you're focusing a lot more on the anatomy and how that anatomy can flow. And when you're able to produce such like large sequences, especially with like extended episodes and stuff like ReZero, you get like a lot of impressive chatter
Mhm.
about it. And ReZero doesn't necessarily have like that crazy fluent character acting. It's got good character acting when it comes to like limbs coming off and like the dramatic, intense aspect. But if they like get like real fluent with like swings and castings and like dramatics and breakdowns or whatever may come in the future, you got a lot of ammunition in the tank to talk about how this adaptation stepped up. I mean, that gives me ammunition to make a video about it at the end of this cour as well, because I need to be able to sit here and get the staff list together and talk about it from a directorial standpoint. What changed outside of just the art style? What did they do? I'm curious to see also later on down the line, some information about the director. How has their philosophy changed on the anime 4 years from now? Because they've clearly have had a talk about character designs. What about bringing these conflicts to life?
Mhm.
How's their philosophy changed? Have they loosened up on certain things to allow certain cuts to make the deadline? Have they invited more people? Like I say, we're having some very interesting names coming by on ReZero this year. Names that typically you would see on much more flashier animation projects that I will not say because you could probably narrow it down at that point. But what made them invite these people on board, or what scenes may have attracted these people, and what ideas have been talked about that attracted these people to allow them to get on board. There's a lot of interesting questions in the air for behind the scenes details. And I can't wait to see what will come out, because it's going to come out. Maybe not now, it might come out during that
Yeah.
break once the first 8 roll out, but it's going to come out, and I'm gonna very much be paying attention to the conversation behind the scenes. But I mean, it's a lot of good stuff to look forward to, man. A lot of good stuff to look forward to with the anime.
It just feels good to
um
be here, man. It
yeah,
just feels good to finally be here.
yeah. I feel like you guys have been waiting for it. I mean, dude, I
It's been a
remember
long
watching
time, man.
ReZero. I remember watching season 2, back in my dorm in college. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, now I'm graduating and shit. And it's like, oh man, we're finally back. Like, good God, it only took White Fox, a millennia. You know,
That's really what I'm curious about. Is like, if season 3 assumedly does not collapse,
mm,
I wonder if this will transition into a much quicker rate for season 4.
yeah,
Because a lot of people might be under the impression that for all 4 years they were working on ReZero Season 3. They were not. I can tell
definitely
you
not.
that for sure because production
Yeah,
started in February 2023 or January 2023.
yeah,
So, obviously there was probably some pre-prod done before then, but not
yeah.
4 years worth of pre-prod.
I feel like I mean, taking into account, there's definitely some pre-prod for Sengoku as well,
Yeah.
considering they're also doing pretty much the same episode count as well. And for all we know, I mean, I feel like they were definitely playing for the late game with these two, considering the fact that Sengoku started airing before ReZero's main trailer even had came. No, 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 no. I take that back. Sengoku started airing right in between the latest trailer that we watched on stream that evening and you guys' first trailer, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like they definitely had to take into consideration that we're gonna have to make sure that we balance these things out, balance these teams out, make sure that we're not pulling resources from both teams, right? That will cause somewhere to crash. Because even if it's two different directors, people can move up and down, on the staircase, in terms of where you are and how you are helping, right? Somebody
Mhm.
that might, again, somebody who was helping on Sengoku might end up popping up on ReZero. I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm looking out for a couple of names that have done incredible work on Sengoku to show up on ReZero, because I have a very big feeling they will be there very soon, sooner than I may expect, to be honest. But it's interesting that White Fox took so much time, but I don't blame them because I think people need to understand, especially when looking at Jujutsu Kaisen and how bad, even though again, I know it sounds crazy because JJK season 2 produced out of this world results, but we all saw the meltdown in real time of Mappa employees on the timeline.
Yeah.
And the fact that that anime, quote unquote, melted, right? Even with those results, and that was like not even 4 years of prep, or no, it was 4 years of prep because season 1 came out in like fall of 2019 with Blue Lock, I'm pretty sure, and Bleach, I think, or sometime around there. Season 1 came out back then, and season 2 came out, just recently, earlier or mid last year. You know what I mean? That's a long time in between the two. And granted, of course, Mappa wasn't working on JJK for 4 years in between that time,
Hmm.
or 3.5 years. But you saw how long it took between season 1 and season 2. And look what still happened, regardless of the results. It still melted, and people are
Yeah.
refusing to go back to Mappa now because of that. You can't blame these studios for taking their time with these shows,
Yeah.
knowing stuff like that. Fall 2020. So it has been 4 years since JJK, or practically almost 4 years since JJK had aired. You know what I mean? And you can't blame them for
To
taking their time.
to answer the question of how are the working conditions in White Fox, we don't know.
Yeah, I would say that's actually one of the few studios I actually don't know about. I know
We don't-
about Bones,
Yeah.
Mappa, JC.
We don't know, but I think the schedule that they got for this season speaks for itself. IMO.
Yeah, I agree.
38
agree.
episodes. I mean, okay. So like when when season 3 first got announced, they made it very clear that arc 5 and 6 were happening in the same season.
Mhm.
And everyone's first thought was we should
Doomed.
all kill ourselves now.
Yeah.
Because we all assumed it was going to be 25 episodes just straight through because that's the norm. 2 core anime is really, really, really fucking hard to produce. So,
Mhm.
and we obviously thought it was 2 core anime.
Yeah.
And then we find out that it could be 3 to 4 cores, and we're like, oh shit. That's
Yeah.
kind of crazy, man. 3 to 4 cores?
Mhm.
But we still assumed it was going to be straight through. Which, you think 2 cores, making 2 cores is hard. Making 3 or 4 cores with
Mhm.
no break is disastrous.
Not to mention too, ReZero has a shorter break than Sengoku Split, and Sengoku's is back to back, which is still crazy to me. I'm honestly surprised that ReZero doesn't have a longer break, but
But then we hear that we get the legend, because the entire time I was praying, I was like, please fucking good lord, if you exist, give ReZero a fucking split core, because it's going to need it so bad. So, and then we get the announcement, 8-8, 11-week break in between.
Right.
And there could be another break after arc 5. We still don't know about that, but probably.
I think there will be, truth be told.
It's
I
probable.
think that I very much think that because you're pushing into the double-digit territory, I would not be surprised because the second half of arc 5 is February, correct?
Yep, February 5th, I believe.
Okay, so we're talking about going from February 5th to pretty much late March to like the first week of April, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they push that next arc maybe to fall, truth be told. I maybe, because you're talking about early April, that's pushing into spring of anime 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like fall sounds pretty reasonable because you're able to get through spring and summer. And that sounds a little bit more digestible in terms of a time frame. I would be surprised if they do push it out to 2026. I feel like because of the fact that they already gave an episode count total, that they have plans to get it done within a year and change time frame. Of course, I say change for the remainder of this year plus 2025. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like. And they'll pretty much conclude the long run of the anime in 2026. And then what happens after that?
Damn.
A
whole year of ReZero, man.
Yeah, it's a whole year for ReZero practically. I think the longest stretch will be to just get through spring of anime to fall. Hypothetically speaking, we still don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't it to give animators a well-needed time, which is why they have... Yeah, absolutely, especially because, one of the most important things to keep in mind is that ambition in the anime community or anime industry in general cannot be realized without time. Okay, you can throw as much money at these animators as you want. If they have like a S tier cut, you know what I mean? They need time and they need people who can clean up that cut in order to get that done. You know what I mean?
It's
And
why
if,
it's why the meme of anime budget doesn't actually mean anything, because money
right.
doesn't solve this issue.
Yeah, it doesn't. These people are going to need a lot of time, especially if this arc is action heavy. They're gonna need their time if they really have. Again, this is all hypothetical because we don't know what storyboarders, what episode directors, what visions they have. It's gonna come down to a case by case basis. You know what I mean? But hypothetically speaking, if the person who storyboarded the episode with Felt versus Elsa back in season 1, right, were to be announced to come back and storyboard an episode that was like a gargantuan fight, right, in this arc 5 half, right, you guys might be in for a substantial treat. You know what I mean? But they only can pull that off if they've got the time, because I'm talking about only cuts, but a good storyboard too can't be realized if they don't got the time to make it realized. And people really got to keep that in mind too. Some things might get an average cuts, but some things later down the line might get substantial cuts, because that's just how it has to come down to. You know what I mean? But that's just how the industry is. That's how it that's how it works sometimes. You know what I mean? We can't all have it all.
Somebody asks, you guys think they're going to rename Arc 6 to Season 4? From what we understand, this is already public information. This is all under the umbrella of the Season 3 project. And it's not impossible, I guess. It's unlikely, though. It's just Season 3.
Yeah, unless the director decides to make some like form of executive decision because schedule, you know what I mean, and they feel like they need to really be cautious with it, then they may move it to season 4, and maybe they may add some more time in between for all we know. But I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah.
And I can say that obviously it all depends on the schedule, but I've heard great things about what's to come. I've heard of great names that are on some of these upcoming scenes, and very excited for Cour 2. Was the Elsa hunting Garfield added into the anime? It was added into the light novel. If you read web novel Arc 5, it did not exist. That's why one of the many reasons why web novel Arc 5 just kind of sucks.
Oh man, the trade-off between those two mediums, bro, the web novel and the light novel.
The web novel, I read Arc 5 before the light novel existed.
Right, yeah,
Web novel Arc 5, when it's all you know, you're like, yeah, this is fine, this was enjoyable. And then you hear about all of these light novel changes, and you're like, holy fuck, man, what? I just read like such a shitty version of this arc.
Yeah, it's literally night and day.
So
literally night and day.
Anime fans should rejoice that they're getting the light novel version.
Yeah, y'all getting me hype. Listen, so typically I'm cautious with certain things. You know what I mean? I am I've had my ass beat by another adaptation airing this season that I don't want to talk about. But why'd you laugh?
Why you acting so secretive, man?
Dude, I don't want to talk about it, man. I'm so hurt by the adaptation. It scars me, bro. It scars me wearing this profile picture in the Discord right now, bro. It scars me so bad, dude. Oh Lord. But when the evidence is there, at least on paper, you know what I mean. It's hard to not get excited, especially with the art change, possibly enabling a lot more. You know what I mean. We may see things that we didn't even know White Fox was capable of, for all we know. Because again, in my opinion, I think White Fox's most like ambitious action show to this day is Katanagatari. In my opinion, I feel like that is White Fox at its like action heavy best. It's an entire action show with consistent like just everything across the board, especially for how old it is. And I feel like this season of ReZero, may have an opportunity to like raise the bar for what people know as action for White Fox. You know what I mean? That's just in my opinion. I know people talk about Akame ga Kill. Nobody cares about Akame ga Kill. Okay. I think people really, look at like Katanagatari, and, I've watched a couple episodes of Katanagatari. I need to finish it. But from what I've seen, I mean, White Fox was like in like their original bag with Katana Gatari, dude. Like
Yeah.
that was some serious like good stuff back in the day. So for what we know, for all we may know.
So, someone says better than MHA Sakuga.
Okay, listen. Listen, White
Depends on
Fox
who
got a
you're
lot of
asking.
good. Yeah, you know, White Fox got a lot of good people over there, but they don't have a Nakamura. Okay, that's you know, I'm just saying. Now they may get one.
Oh, brother.
They
Yeah,
they don't got a
whole
Utapod.
the whole studio is just fucking Nakamura. Dude. I'm gonna beat your ass, bro.
Hey, listen, man, I had to do it, man. I had to do it. Gotta go. You know, we can't be having these shenanigans. You know. But
Interesting.
you know, they do have a lot of good people who do good effects over there. And again,
Yeah.
but they do have a YouTube channel. Yo, sync, buddy, stop talking. Don't tell them that. All right, agenda. Maintain the agenda, sync. Highest priority, brother. God.
MHA fans get one good episode, bro, and they don't shut the fuck up about it, man. Oh my god. I'm really excited for you guys to get another good episode in 2 years, alright? Have fun.
Oh, okay. Hey, buddy, we got a good episode coming next Friday, boys. You're next in theaters, guys. Go see it.
That's not an episode. That doesn't count. Strike it from the record. Movies don't count.
I will be there in 4K. 4 minutes
I will.
Utapon cut on the way.
I will
Boy.
not be there. I'm good.
Oh, yes, you will.
I hope you enjoy it, though.
I'm going to send you enough money to go get a ticket just to spite you.
You're gonna send me
Yeah,
enough
wait.
money to get a ticket, and I'm gonna pocket it, and I'm gonna stay home and have fun. I'm gonna do some Mythic Plus on WoW or something. Dude. I'm gonna hang out.
This dude. Oh,
Let's just go to my
yeah.
World of Warcraft sub, bro, not to a fucking movie theater ticket.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. I get it. Oh, man. Movies don't count. I'll be there day one. That's the last good time, but I have MHA. I can't wait. Waste it. Yeah, facts, dude.
No, I'm good.
Hey, I'm just saying though. Before they announced movie 5 final canon adaptation in December, guys. I'm telling you now, it's coming. I have a bad feeling it's coming. I'll be very upset.
After MHA ended, I stopped watching the anime. I only tapped in for the Gear Shift episode because people kept talking about the Gear Shift episode. It was ass, by the way. And then
don't even get me started, dude.
and
You know
then,
what?
and then people were talking about the Toto Fame episode, and that episode was very good. Yes, it was.
You know Jason Yao's storyboard for what Gear Shift was supposed to be got nerfed?
I'm not surprised.
Dude, he had a whole vision for Gear Shift and it got nerfed.
I'm not surprised at all.
I was so sad to see it, dude. He literally was like, it was supposed to be like a continuous chain. You know what I mean? Not like the first gear, second gear, top gear.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a fluent chain, and it got nerfed to hell. And I felt, you know what it reminded me of, dude? The great Chancellor Vincent of season 5. I cried, bro. I actually cried, dude. It's happening all over again. Oh, man.
Is it fair for me to drop MHA after getting halfway through season 5? Is there enough time for me to know if MHA was for me or not? Dude, I think 1 season of a show is enough for you to drop it if you don't like it. 5 seasons is crazy if you're not fucking with it. Jesus.
I'm surprised you didn't drop it after like season 3. I feel like that was really like
shit.
The season 3 feels like the real, like, you either down for this or you.
That's like someone coming into chat and be like, I'm on One Piece chapter 800. When does it get good? It's like, holy fuck, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, you could definitely drop it. It's absolutely understandable. Like, you don't, if it ain't for you, ain't no problem. Ain't no problem. Do we all agree that Regulus versus Gojo is no diff for Regulus? Is this true? Asa, can you confirm?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh shit.
You didn't expect me to come out there and say it, did you?
No, I didn't know Regulus had a bag like that. I really didn't. I've only seen him like destroy some carriages and have like invisible like punches and stuff.
He just keeps talking and then Gojo kills himself.
Oh god, bro. So yeah, I'm out. Actually, Reinhardt solos all of them. Yeah, I've heard that that dude is ridiculously broken.
You know how it is when there's the most powerful character in a series. People don't shut the fuck up about it. Unfortunately, it's especially bad with people really never shut the fuck up about things that they should shut the fuck up about with ReZero. Unfortunately.
Drags tweet in chat. Shut the fuck up, guys. I was getting some food yesterday for today, and I just looked down at my phone and I'm like, oh, he's so real, dude. Because everybody's gonna start yapping, man.
You know what's
Literally
funny
just in the
is
checkout line.
I scheduled that tweet like a month ago. And I was playing World of Warcraft and I tabbed out and I saw a tweet from me and I was like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's today. It's today. Dude, I don't blame you, man. I'm gonna have to be cautious, man. I'm gonna have to be very cautious.
To those
I
that
already
don't
see
know,
a couple of threads about it, man.
To those that don't know, I made a tweet yesterday that said ReZero Season 3 will start soon and I have requests to make to the fandom. The ReZero fandom is the worst I have ever encountered when it comes to the willingness to spoil random things. So for this momentous occasion, I ask one thing for the sake of anime onlys: shut the fuck up. That was my tweet.
Can't blame you, man. People love to yap and just throw it out there in anticipation and hype, but it's like, man,
in my episode 1 video, I explicitly state to shut the fuck up, and somebody dropped possibly one of the biggest ReZero spoilers that can happen in the comments, and I was like, okay,
oh my god,
failed the IQ test, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Did you block him from the chat, from the channel?
He got boomed, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh man,
is ReZero or JJK worse at spoilers? It's probably JJK because it's much more prolific.
Oh yeah,
because of leak culture.
Worse, dude, I got a video. I'll tell you after stream.
Okay.
I'll tell you after stream. Speaking of which, man, because good God, man, when you really reflect on these last like 10 years of leak culture, good God, bro, it's bad, man.
Yeah,
it's bad, man. I still fear for Kagurabachi. I'm not gonna lie.
So far, so good.
I give it 2 years. I give it 2 years and 1 S tier anime adaptation.
Well, some of us won't be here in 2 years, so it's fine.
Like, dude, it's about to get crazy again. I think leak culture right now is biding its time, but once it starts again, man, boy, spoilers gonna be pretty bad for ReZero in the next weeks. Yeah, I'm a definitely be careful. Thankfully, I don't follow a lot of ReZero people. Unless I get flashbanged by like.
You got flashbanged by something.
Oh, yeah, I did.
He got flashbanged by something, chat. Quite unfortunate.
Yeah, I did. Unfortunately, I'm not planning to like go and look at like the ReZero leakers account or anything like that until it's like off season or like like a Kin Nut. I'm pretty sure they might do some non-spoil or spoiler. No, yeah, they'll definitely do spoiler stuff. I'm pretty sure. I could see it. Major creators, they don't really like the big boys. They don't really care much for anime only stuff. They lay it all out on the table, and it's like you either sink or swim type stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I try to
be cautious.
I try to be very aware of the fact that most of this fandom is anime only.
Yeah.
Even the videos that I'm making about current novel content, I put no spoilers in the title. I put no spoilers in the thumbnail. It's easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and there's no reason not to.
Yeah, 100%.
Because half the fucking 90% of the people who watch this show are only gonna watch it. They're not gonna read it. They don't know how to read.
Every single like big reactor that I know is reacting to this show this season does not read ReZero.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been rewatching season 2, some of them, to refresh their memory. Mm-hmm. So I know for a fact that like they need to be careful for their comment section because good God, people love to spoil stuff, man. And I get it, but like, damn, like, can we not?
I guess there's just like a sense of excitement that they have, and they can't stop talking, unfortunately. But it's also like, stop talking, please, and don't.
Yeah, like literally, like, please
don't do this.
Yeah.
So
you gotta.
That's why I'm trying to also have like an anime only safe space for at least a big chunk of the stream, because a lot of the people who are gonna come through here are gonna be anime onlys, and then I can make it clear when it's not anime only safe space, and then they can all fuck off unless they really don't want to for some reason.
Yeah, it's gonna be good to be able to come here and have like in-depth discussion, because
Yeah.
Watching season 2 again, I definitely appreciated it a lot more. I understood everything this time around too. I felt like a lot of things may have flown over my head the first time, maybe because I just wasn't as conscious and giving it all my cognitive attention. But everything with the sanctuary, its origin, Betty, Beatrice and her purpose, choose me, Roswell's origin as well, Ryu's Shima and the clones, Garfield, everything felt a lot better this season. Or season 2, I'm sorry, just off rip. And I was like, okay, I really
So
understand this full picture right now. So now I can go into season 3, full comprehension,
what
ready
you're
to go.
saying is that you like season two's adaptation more than the web novel.
I would, yeah, yeah. I would say, like, again, I can't remember. I would have to go back and look for that list you showed me that had like everything that was cut from season 2. But
Yeah.
looking at it from like a streamlined perspective, I felt like I got the main picture of season 2, and I felt like nothing was skipped between alternating around the sanctuary, the
Mhm.
witch's tea party, and then mainly Amelia's growth as a character. I felt like I was able to check all 3 of those things off the checkbox, with pinnacles like choose me being such a monumental moment for Subaru and Beatrice. And then,
Look, man,
you know,
I just want to tell you that I set you up just now hard as fuck. Okay. You just basically walked into it, man.
what did I do? What did you do? What did you do?
Saying that you enjoyed the season 2 adaptation after reading it.
Oh,
It's basically like
oh.
putting an Israeli flag in your display name.
Listen, listen, chat. Listen, all right? Listen. Fuck. I hate you, bro. Why did you do that? Listen. I'm sorry, guys, but Choose Me as an episode alone is a Grammy award-winning episode, okay? That shit is that. I almost cried the second time. I'm not gonna hold you. I almost cried, bro. I almost cried. I actually almost cried.
Yeah,
I
it's a good
felt
episode. Yeah.
it's such a good episode, man. I loved how they approached, her. Like it's just so damn good. Like, can I just glaze? Like, I never glazed
Yeah, man,
Taipei,
go
but
for
like,
it.
can we just talk about how this man made an entire plot line about a spirit's existence frozen in a twisted person's experiment, and the ideal way to break
Dude,
them
bro, you
from that
literally-
contract was you had to find that person. But that person in itself is a phenomenon because you don't know who it may be, when they may come, and how you will know. So you have to walk away from that mindset, and you just have to choose Subaru in this situation. God, I almost threw my chair out the window, bro. It's so good, man.
Yeah,
It's so good.
episode 25 is pretty good too, right?
Yes. With the oh my god. Dude.
Offbeat steps under the moonlight. It's good.
Yes, yeah, dude, it's so good, man. Like, trust me. Again, I know that the anime is like a good anime but a bad adaptation. I get that, you know what I mean. But considering I went through majority of the anime before I read, I feel like my opinion just isn't gonna magically switch a complete 180. Because dude, when I binged season 1, man, oh my god, even that first time was just life changing. But I know there was so much content, you know what I mean? But
No
I
Aldebaran, it's filler.
yeah, okay, yeah. But I get that, and I trust me, I absolutely get it. I know that objectively, the light novels are better in terms of just including crucial key context. Okay, but guys, if y'all gonna sit here and say that White Fox didn't put their whole foot in the season 2 on many different episodes, dude,
Someone's accusing you. Someone's accusing you of lying about reading because, they said that you don't know about something about you saying Otto can't fight.
Okay, I know Otto can fight. It's just like he just got thrashed by Garfield like majority of the season. I know he can fight. Like, he's got his ways of fighting with his blessing with he can hear animals.
Yeah.
And stuff. And technically, like, in terms of like an actual, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not seeing. I don't see Otto like fighting like a Sin Archbishop or anything like that. But he does have his own methods of fighting. They're very clever methods of fighting. You know what I mean? With his arsenal of like tools, and then using nature and just his overall like wits. You know what I mean? He can fight. He can fight. All right, my bad. My bad. All right, he can fight. He can fight. It's just man was getting thrashed around by Garfield a good bit, and until he wasn't. Okay, until he wasn't.
It's true. Web novel arc 4 Otto is planetary.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh, I'm like, bro, like it's just like some hidden lore I just don't know yet that like it's coming.
Someone asks
Like,
you, can Otto use magic? Yes or no?
Okay. See, okay. Technically, shouldn't he be able to? Because
Are you a skimmer, bro? Do you skim?
Dude, it's been a minute. Okay, come here, Fleck. It has been a minute. It has been a minute.
I think you read it like 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, it has been a minute. My memory is not as fresh. My memory is definitely not as fresh.
Fraud alert, dude.
Dude, okay, all right. Listen. It's been a minute, chat. It's been a minute. Come on, man.
You don't remember the Aldona, bro?
Oh, okay. Okay. Good point. Dude, it's been a minute. Okay, it's been a minute. Come on. Show me mercy, chat. Show me mercy, please.
Chat going, we got him. Also, probably didn't know about the Aldona because you guys probably didn't read it either.
Yeah. Yeah, chat. Yeah.
Except for a select few. Except for a select few of you. I know some of you did. But I know what the rest of you are.
I deserve anime only mercy. Okay. Come on. Come on, guys. You guys can't beat my ass for like 36 weeks in a row. Come on, guys.
Actually, 38.
38 weeks in a row, guys. Come on.
Plus all 11 weeks for the core break as well.
Oh yeah.
Every week we're gonna come on and we're gonna quiz you about something from the Arc 4 web novel.
Oh my fucking god. Yo, just boom me, bro. Just boom me. Actually, just boom me. Just actually boom me. Even manga onlys now know Aldona. Oh yeah, I forgot there's a manga.
Yeah,
isn't it like just now catching up to like Act 5 or Arc 5, right?
There's two manga. Well, there's one for Arc 4 and there's one for Arc 5. They're running in parallel. The Arc 4 manga is at Emilio's trial currently.
I see. Okay.
Hello, Gyro.
Oh, it's Gyro. It's Gyro. Gyro.
We should like. Never mind. I'll tell you off stream. But we should do something. We should do something to Gyro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, okay. Wait. I agree. I agree. What's Roswell's middle name? Wasn't it like Roswell L. Mather or something like that, right?
Yeah. You're getting asked a trick question because we don't know his middle name.
Alright, fuck you, chat. You're not about to do this to me 38 weeks in a row, bro. We're not doing this, chat. We're not doing this. Alright. Gyro? Yeah, I do that. I do that on purpose. I know it's Gyro. I just do that on purpose.
Will there ever just be one official manga of ReZero? No. I mean, like, they're easy to find.
Which Roswell? Isn't it the same person? Didn't he like soul transfer his soul to like each compatible body of the soul? Isn't it the same one from like Beatrice's original timeline?
Yeah, but they're just ignore him. Just ignore chat.
Oh my god.
Just ignore
guys,
chat.
stop trolling me, please. I'm trying to be one of you guys, all right? This is like
no, they're asking you things. They're asking you things that you can't know.
This is frat boy hazing, bro. They're frat boy hazing me.
They're asking you questions that only have answers in side stories, at least to my knowledge at this point in time.
Like, oh my god.
You're not gonna know these.
Guys, please. Truce. Give me a truce, please. Yeah, he possessed like each descendant basically.
Yeah. I did tell Jordan that I'm gonna make him read the outside stories when Arc 5 concludes, though.
Yes, I will be doing that. I will hopefully have my iPad or whatnot so I can read on my tablet, cozy.
Like a fucking iPad toddler, man.
Yeah, man. You know what I just realized? But wait, you know what bro? I don't know how I just have, dude. Why am I Barney, bro? Why?
You just realized that?
Dude, I've been looking at chat and looking at my notepad. My notepad's been in the center of my screen this entire time, and I just happen to minimize, and I see a terrified Barney. Like, he looks see like.
It's been on screen for like an hour and a half, man.
Dude, my notepad's been in the center of my screen the entire time. I have not seen a Barney. I have had it open the.
You know what the Barney means.
What does the Barney mean?
You know what it means.
What does it mean?
Your tweet.
Which tweet? I make a lot of
tweets.
tweets.
You know the one.
Which one?
Jordan.
Oh, wait. You mean the one I made today? Like, we're so bad.
No. You know the one.
Which one? Which one?
How do you not know?
Which one?
Jordan.
Wait, which two? Come on.
It's the Cork Sensei tweet.
Oh, never, all right, never mind. Oh my god. You're so nasty. You're so nasty. Dude, listen. That is an era chat must never know. That is a dead man. That's a suspended man.
There's probably only a couple of people in chat who know what I'm talking about.
Dude. Oh, no. Dude. That's actually gold. Oh my god.
I still can't believe you said that.
Dude, listen. I don't know what I was cooking, bro. I don't know what I was cooking, dude. Like, literally, the person I was back when I was a freshman in college and now are two different people. Two different people.
Maybe, guys, maybe one of these days, we'll reveal the lore, alright? 300 gifted, the lore gets revealed.
I'll do it. Hey, listen, y'all go crazy. Y'all go crazy for ReZero content for also all season. If I like the results I'm seeing, I will find the tweet and give it the chat for also to put on 4K.
Yeah, you don't need to find it. I already have it, man.
Oh my god, why do you
I have it with an iFunny watermark as well.
Oh my god, that's exactly where it came from, too. Dude, I never forget my classmate hit me up. He was like, bro, isn't this your Twitter? I was like, oh shit. I gotta change to a Deku profile picture now. I was so scared, bro. Oh my god. I don't know about the tweet. He doesn't know, but wait. I don't know about the tweet, but he doesn't know about the Shadow Garden. What's the Shadow Garden? We talking about like Eminence and Shadow Garden, or like? No,
the Shadow Garden where he goes after he dies sometimes. In the novels, because I don't really think they're in the anime.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Where are his gifted? Yeah, guys. Listen, again, you guys support the Asa content. All 38 weeks, all streams. We go crazy when the Sakugo goes absolutely crazy on ReZero weeks. I like the results I'm seeing. Grand finale at the end of this 38 episodes. Put myself on 4K. Hang me by the stake. Let's go, boys and girls. We're doing it up. 38 weeks, baby. He's lying, cause dude, Pyro, listen. Can we just form a truce, please? What do you want? What do you want from me? Huh? What do you want from me? We can negotiate in the server, all right? You want Bubba's life? I'll give it to you. We can negotiate.
I thought like you're supposed to bring things that have value to the negotiation table.
All right, fine. You want Gyro's life? We'll do that too. I'll throw that in there too. Maybe Sync.
I thought you were supposed
Sync.
to bring things that have. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Sync. All right, we'll do Sync. We'll do Sync. Sync. I'm sorry, buddy. I've never sacrificed you yet, but I think it's time for you. It's time for you. I've done everybody in the old chat except for you, buddy. Hey, man. It's all right. You don't got the power. Oh man, Bubba got cooked. Good. He's always suspending me in chat. I breathe. He's like, think fast, chuckle nuts, and he just flash me out of existence.
Hits you with the 60-second timeout every time.
Like, bro, why me, bro? I don't even do anything. Literally came in the chat. It's showtime. You've been timed out. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's that? Like, yeah, dude.
And then he leaves. Bro. He's not even here anymore. Then he just leaves.
Like, bro, he's such a hater, bro. Oh my god. It's insane.
He comes in and gives you a couple of slaps, and then he fucking leaves.
It's ridiculous, man. I'm gonna catch him in the street one day. I promise. Oh man, this is the best ReZero adaptation since season 1.
I think season
what do
2
you
had its
think?
highlights. I think Parent
Yeah.
and Child is a particularly good episode.
Yeah, for sure. That's the whole flashback, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's more. I just haven't watched season 2 in a while. In quite a while, actually.
Yeah, it's Choose Me, Parent and Child.
Offbeat Steps, pretty good.
Yeah. And the oh man, Parent and Child. Oh man, that one I almost cried too. Like really
Yeah.
almost cried. Oh man, that was very emotional. That was a very emotional episode, man. That I'm going somewhere. I don't know if I'll be back. He was apologizing because he can never do the things his parents would. He can though when I catch you. When I catch you, woman. Oh, rough.
Season 2, I remember being really good in the first half, then it kind of slows down until the very end. Skill issue?
What a big what a response, man. The Battle Geese episode 2? Yeah. I like both of Emilia's major trial episodes. When she starts spazzing with that when she was saying die, the Shinjai, just over and over again, like, all right, bro. Calm down, Emilia, please. But that was a good reminder. Hey, you know what I mean? I'm putting some of that VA work, man. Coming soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Catch me in Dawn to Dawn episode 4, guys.
Can I ask, will this season, if it keeps the same quality, be hype? I mean, yeah, man.
Should be.
What do you think about it?
Very.
Think I'm gonna slander ReZero right now?
I hope that ReZero has an episode of the season contender, because I genuinely want to be able to talk about ReZero from an anime only perspective in a very gargantuan way. I've never done a ReZero video. So it will be a good experiment for me to see how I tackle it. But I need ReZero to really give me one of those. You know what I mean? Give me a choose me on a scale that appropriates to the stakes at hand, and you got yourself a deal. You know what I mean? Because I know for a fact that ReZero is already about to make it into the anime 2024 kind of for a lot of people, just for the fact that it's back after so long. But I really need them to give me some ammo this season. They've already given me a lot of world building, a lot of investment. Now I got a notepad here. Let me save this file actually before I forget, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, if an episode doesn't have Al, I might just not tune in, but you know how it is, man.
Oh yeah, man. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. Maintain the agenda. Let me separate this. Week 2. Make my week 2 section from the notepad. It's gonna be interesting. Cause I feel like
that
I'm
notepad's
writing
gonna
a
get
lot.
fucking thick, man.
Dude, it's already thick now, man. It's like 72 lines thick already.
Damn.
Granted, of course, some of them are like one worders, but like I have a lot. Like I've got like sections: Arrival to Watergate, Japanese style residence, Hosh in the Wilderness, Ratchins works for Feld, Royal Family, 15 years ago, Wilhelm, Reinhardt's father. Also, I'm kind of surprised to hear Kenjiro Suda's voice actor as Reinhardt's father. Always
very
like
good choice.
Voices. Very good choice. I love Suda as a voice actor, so that'll be cool. He plays a good drunk.
My my Twitter's in Japanese, so I get things that are trending in Japan. And
It was a Suda.
no, it's been every time I refresh it, it's just a different ReZero character that's trending in Japan.
I'm sure Liliana's probably up there.
Right now it's Priscilla, actually.
Gosh damn it! Of course it is.
Oh, look at as soon as the independent woman is trending, he's like, oh.
Dude, she's so freaking mean, man. She's gotta chill out, man. She's gotta get on the good side, man. Get in the good side. Maybe if she kills an Archbishop, I might put some respect on her. Right? She killing an Archbishop, because I'm kind of curious to see what that Yang sword does. It probably has a special effect, considering there's probably a Yang for it. So what does the Yang do?
What if it's just a sword, man? You ever think about that?
It's never that simple. It's never that simple. There's always something.
Aren't Twitter trending influenced by what you interact with? I don't think I interact with stocks or Bank of America. So, I don't know.
Let me check. Maybe I'll have a... Let me see here. The Yozakura J-Dog parallels. Oh, man. J-Dog. Let me see. Yeah, ReZero is trending for me right now. Just trends for me. Let's see if it's trending in the United States by chance. It is not. That's okay. Yeah, it's trending for me at 71K.
Not bad.
It is back. That it is back. It is back, and boy, are these threads popping out.
I've been saying that I think the only real competition that ReZero will have this season is Dan to Dan.
And I would say Dandadan and Arcane.
Oh,
That's
if
probably
we
it.
count Arcane, then yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, nothing else. I think
Yeah.
Blue Lock's in a bad spot. I think, I'm not gonna lie, Shangri-La Frontier, great show, but it's very very niche for like the SAO kind of crowd who enjoys those kind of game animes like I do. Bleach, LMAO question mark, I guess we'll see. Blue Box, I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be cute, but nothing crazy. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Dragon Ball Daima, just because novelty of Dragon Ball significance and the fact that Akira Toriyama passed away this year. You know what I mean? Like, type respect type stuff. But other than that, though, I do feel like though ReZero might pull ahead, though. Quite frankly, I feel like Dandadan is not like the type of show where you come back and talk to it weekly. It's a very like in the moment, this shit was crazy type show, and
Yeah,
you can enjoy yourself. But once it ends, you just like.
I feel like Dan to Dan will have a lot of motion because its humor is aimed at like 12-year-olds.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
you know how some anime fans are. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
So I think that there'll be like a funny dick ball joke, and they'll be like, haha, I'm clapping my feet, and then.
I mean, you know about Granny Turbo, you know what I mean? The first thing she says though.
I know.
It's so funny to actually hear that very soon. Tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
I think ReZero is probably going to be the one to pull ahead, though. Truth be told, a lot of it's pretty much to me, it's going to be like a ReZero versus Dandadan versus Arcane. At most, in terms of traction, I feel like. In terms of traction, though, I feel like it's going to come down to ReZero versus Arcane because you can't really pull much from Dandadan. We can talk about how good of an adaptation is, how people were like gonna say, this is how Chainsaw Man should be with the colors and the direction, and we can talk about how Science Saru has killed it coming off their recent Scott Pilgrim anime adaptation, all that good stuff. But like, you know what I mean?
Dan will reach the Hawk to a crowd.
Probably true though, man. Like if you really think about what's in these first 12 episodes, Turbo Granny, then the underwater one, then Acrobatic Silky, and then Gigi, and then I think I can't say this on stream. Dandadan won't be much longer after season 1 till
does Al reveal something very important about himself to Subaru in this episode that was cut from season 1? No. I think that there are 2 places in Cour 1 that can happen. I think there are 2 places in Cour 2 that can happen. And if it doesn't happen after that, it's over.
Dandadan is a manga, Super Saiyan. It is a manga by one of the former assistants by Fujimoto, author of Chainsaw Man. It's probably one of the more enjoyable-esque new generations of shonen manga, but it's in Weekly Shonen Jump, but it's technically Jump Plus. So
yeah,
but it has done quite well for itself, all things considered. So Dandadan is going to be less successful than Solo Leveling. We'll see, honestly. We'll see. You know what? That's right, Solo Leveling. It can go either way, to be honest with you. I feel like A1 Pictures versus Science Saru is definitely like a battle of who edged out, but I don't know, man. Science Saru has an interesting dog in them after that Scout Pilgrim anime.
Dandadan is really good. Skip the first chapter and also skim like the next 80, and then you'll have fun probably.
Dude, man.
This isn't even agenda, man. This isn't even agenda, man. It's just, it's fine.
Dandadan is, I don't know. I don't really have any issues with Dandadan. I think that like it's a very interesting take on intertwining the supernatural with the unnatural, and then balancing out with like these heavy emotions that tend to lead to the more spiritual side of the narrative. But I feel like the humor is heavy very emotions, like. Huh? I mean, you know what I mean, like with
heavy emotions. Huh? 2 parts.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Okay.
Like acrobatic silky story, like the dance, like the out,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ballerina, like that type of stuff. I'm sure is gonna hit with people. You know what I mean? But like I wonder how much people will entertain the whiplash of going from, that storyline, for example, to like, calling somebody a skank. You know what I mean? Like that's how quick.
Fragrant flower better, man.
True. You know what? Yeah. Mm, 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 mm. I'm not gonna lie, dude. When Fragrant Flower comes out, I'm so happy that show's getting anime. I almost want to cover it weekly. I'm so serious. Like, I'm debating how I would cover a romance anime weekly without sounding like a corny loser. But like, like I genuinely feel like I want to put it on the map. Fragrant Flower is going to be one of the best goddamn shows next year. I am so excited. Oh my god! If you guys are not watching the Fragrant Flower bloom, not watching. If you guys aren't reading the Fragrant Flower Blooms of Dignity, you need a reason.
It's a pretty good manga.
To smile today. Please go read Fragrant Flower Blooms of Dignity. The first 40 chapters will change your life. It will make you want to go outside and scream.
I feel like you get your life changed by a lot of things, man.
I should probably adjust my standards.
That's not Fragrant Flower or Discourse though, or the Slander though, because I think it's quite good. It's quite good.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, man.
Bloom into You is better though.
Slow down. Oh my god.
Bloom into You is better though.
Stop. You don't mean that. You don't mean that. You actually don't mean that.
I do mean that. Yeah, 100%.
Oh no.
And you know what's better than Bloom into You?
What is?
ReZero starting life from another world.
Dude. Oh my gosh. You guys ever feel weird that ReZero made this much success? I don't think to talk of the town anime paper. In a way, it's interesting. ReZero's success not largely. I feel like ReZero's success can be contributed into three parts. Three different sections. One, the fact that it was the only anime back then that approached time travel in a way, not time travel, but return by death in a sense that is technically time travel, but like in a very specific way. It approached it in a very unique way, right? Because one, it's an isekai, but it's not your traditional garbage junk isekai. And back then, we didn't have a lot of isekai that were unique either. The most unique isekai we had back then, honestly, that I can think of was either between SAO or Log Horizon, truth be told, okay? ReZero was the one that really opened up some serious doors, you know what I mean, for isekai to start making a comeback. The second one, like Pyro said, is the Waifu Wars, because literally every gooner, every person who was covering ReZero, every major YouTuber who was watching ReZero literally had something to say about the Emilia versus Rim Wars. And Reddit, not Emilia, Jesus. I'm sorry. Emilia versus Rim Wars. And it was ridiculous. It was the most insane fights I have ever seen grown people get into on Reddit in my entire life. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Wasn't SAO the one where the siblings get weird? Yeah, that's why Jordan's a big fan of it.
What? Jesus Christ. Yo, hey, well, we're gonna have to sign some NDAs after this stream, but and then, anime reception for ReZero was also really good, because again, it was a pretty good anime it was pretty good anime for its time. You know what I mean? When did ReZero season 1 come out? That was
2016.
2016 of what? 2016 of
same
what?
Season as MHA season 1.
Oh, thank you. That's perfect. That means that had to been spring 2016. If we go back to spring, right? If we go back to spring of 2016,
Gyro.
Go back real quick. I'm just curious to see. Okay, yeah, back in 2016, ReZero was definitely the big hitter of the season. Bungo Stray Dogs debuted, MHA debuted, Cabanera the Iron Fortress debuted, and Assassination Classroom was the biggest ongoing shonen that was still going. And then they had another JoJo's, right? So but in this same season, ReZero pretty much stood on its own in terms of unique isekai, right? Everybody's always going to watch an isekai, whether it's the garbage one or whether it's the one that's unique, right? But then you had a show by White Fox that already has good PR from its early series, like Katana Gatari. Mm-hmm. So people were easily, entranced in it, and it just took off, and it never looked back. And even though ReZero does have like some interesting competition in the light novel space with in terms of anime adaptations, because even like I swear,
Jesus
dude, there's probably
Christ,
I think
man.
ReZero, honestly, thinking about it, well, actually, I don't know. I actually don't know because it's like if I were to put like the most hardcore ReZero fan in a room with the most hardcore Mushoku Tensei fan, with the most hardcore Don Machi fan, and the most hardcore Classroom of the Elite fan, I honestly don't know which adaptation has suffered the most. Truth be told, I feel like Classroom of the Elite has been the one that has suffered the most, in my opinion, because their fans absolutely hate their adaptation. I mean, they hate it.
Mhm.
At least you guys digest it and can enjoy it and like call out like what's been cut, but they hate it, man. I feel like ReZero is probably no, maybe I unfortunately say maybe even Mushoku Tensei probably has the least egregious cuts, followed by ReZero, then Danmachi, and
Maybe
then
MT should have had more cuts.
now you're
You
on
ever
to
think,
something.
you ever think about that?
Let me write that down. Let me send find a strongly worded email and just see what they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do Mushoku Tensei fans not like the anime? No, Mushoku Tensei fans like the anime. Classroom of the Elite fans despise the anime. They absolutely hate the anime because of stuff, and I get it though, like reasonably so. I would say like because apparently the main character in Classroom of the Elite's anime is not even the same person compared to the light novel. Apparently in the anime he's like very lifeless, and they removed a lot of his emotions and expressions. Apparently in the light novel he's like much more of a person.
They made
Vortex.
it
I've heard
edgy.
the same thing. Yeah, they made it very edgy, and I feel like when you have discussions about your main character being completely different from what's been established, you got a problem. Like you got a major problem, and they need to
Yep.
get the anime out of the hands of whoever's been doing it. Forgot their name, but they got to get the hands out of that project because good God, man.
I always wonder how it feels to be an author in that situation. Just like watching your shit get like cut to bits, and like you're the protagonist you've been writing to like turned into
Yeah,
an entirely different character.
yeah, dude. It's funny you say that because Oshinoko actually did that this season, where the author of the show that Aqua was working on back in season 1, they brought her back, and she literally had like a whole inner monologue of how she was basically extremely bitter about how her shit was just butchered across the board, and it was very interesting. And I can only imagine that it's worse for light novels because light novels to me by default will have cut content no matter what, because episode runtime, in my opinion, for light novels need a separate standard compared to actual manga adaptations. To me, light novel adaptations on average, in my opinion, should be pushing like
Yeah.
20, like higher than 25 on average. I think the average light novel season almost should be pushing damn near 30 episodes, maybe 27, 29 at the most.
Part of the issues as well is how much inner monologue or narration can't be brought over.
Yep, absolutely.
So you end up getting
it's
a somewhat different product.
Yeah, it's a challenge because you don't want to, because I know the directors don't want to let characters just ramble for God knows how long, because then that takes up too much episode runtime. But it's like, how do you get the point across without butchering stuff, but you end up butchering stuff by trying to get the point across no matter what? You know what I mean? There's a lose-lose situation no matter what for light novels. And it's unfortunate, but that to me, I guess, is just one of the trade-offs of what it means to be an adaptation. You know what I mean? And you just gotta bite that bullet and just pray at that point.
In a way,
So-
isn't it more interesting to have adaptations be very different from one another? That way, none are a complete replacement for the other, and they all show a very different perspective. I understand the point you're going for. However, I think that I like it when people like the story I like, and not the story that it did not end up happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
that's a fair assessment.
Like ReZero is probably not the best example because it doesn't have like it has a couple of story altering cuts, but not that many. But it puts us in a place where if I want to talk to like an anime only about certain things, it's just not possible because they don't know it. Like if I want to talk to them about the Al intrigue, which is supposed to be in Arc 3, they're just like, "Oh, who is that?" And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, basically. Because you have to ask yourself, a lot of the times knowing, like, especially when you hear changes, like, I don't know if anybody else is watching Mission Yozakura Family this season, for example, title drop for my first half of my user, but not the author, but the anime has substantially changed a lot of the Act 1 content. Some of it's been cut out, some of it's been rearranged. And I always ask myself, can these directors justify their adjustments, right? When stuff gets cut, when stuff gets dropped, when stuff gets rearranged, when stuff gets adapted in a different way, can they justify what they do? Because if they can't justify it, then you might as well not gas up an adaptation being different from the source material, because you're just doing a disservice around altogether. You know what I mean? It's different if there's like certain butcherings, right? That's reasonable, and certain butcherings that may result in like fair game, that even though you may disagree with it, you can see why it may have been butchered. And sure, at least the content, like community talk. But it's different if they do that and then they justify the anime's adaptation with like multiple elevated episodes, staff going in extra hard, extended episodes, right? That's different. You have a trade-off at that point. But if you're talking about giving an adaptation that pretty much allows people to create an entirely different version of the story in their head because of what they watched in comparison to what a light novel reader reads, what can you do, man? Like, how do you argue against that, man? You just have to yield at that point.
It's like the entire element of... Because Arc 3 was a big part of Subaru having to face the fact that he's not special. And we got that in a lot of ways with every knight. But one aspect that you don't get, which is taken out of the Arc 3 anime forever now, even if they do re-add the owl reveal, this is gone forever now, is the fact that the final nail in the coffin for him not being any type of special person is the fact that he was not the only one isekai either. That was a powerful point, I think, for the owl reveal, is that he finds that out like when he's on his fucking demon path and he's like, oh shit, it's not just me.
Yeah, and that context goes a long way for people. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting because it's unfortunate too, because really thinking about it now, especially with the lore drop of the Hoshin the Wilderness. It's like, damn. That would have been a really interesting knot to really tie into and extend it even further. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that well, again, we don't know, right, if the owl content has been cut yet. We don't know, or completely cut, like without any chance of re-add. We don't know yet. That time period for where it could be re-added could still be re-added for all we know.
And the fact that Al declares he isn't special and never even tried to find out how he was summoned. Yeah.
Like the fact that there's still room for that, we don't know quite yet if it'll make it or not. But it's just one of those cases where it's like you can't make, like, anime only people will not be able to make that connection. And
it could at least be re-added, but I hope if they re-add it, they don't just go like, oh, I'm isekai, haha, smile. I hope that they try to make it fit within the context of Arc 5 so that it also has a thematic purpose. Which I can think of a couple ways, but I won't speak on that.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. If they're able to intertwine it thematically, even if you have to like get it out at the beginning of the episode, you know what I mean? Like, extend the episode by like an extra 10, maybe, 10, 15, for those like, extended episodes, and just...
This is why when people are like, oh, but they could just flash back to the conversation that happened that was cut, I'm like, that's so stupid.
It's convenient.
The laziest way.
Yeah, flashbacks are a very convenient way to basically splooge in information without having to worry about its relevancy in the moment, in the context, because it's like you don't, in the moment, you can equate the moment of what's being said right in front of you to what's going on thematically or the situation at hand. But if you look at a flashback, nobody's going to like, it takes like an extra step of thought process to be like, oh, wow, this conversation happened a while ago. Okay, let me connect this to the current arc. You know what I mean? It doesn't click as hard with the ongoing narrative when things like happen like a while ago. You know what I mean? Granted, of course, if they do it early in the season, right? It may be, they can avoid some more damage than necessary. But,
it's still better than nothing. I mean, I don't disagree that it's better than nothing, but like there are better ways to execute reintroducing Ao's isekai.
Yeah, I mean, worst case, least case scenario in terms of like how they could do it right creatively, not objectively, just creatively, right? Least case scenario, flashback. Best case scenario, they re-add it into the anime in a creative portion. Extra, maybe they have an episode where it's like 36 minutes or like, 30 minutes instead of 24. You get an extra 6 minutes right at the beginning.
It's like, rather than trying to just recreate what you cut, make it a new scene, make it have its own impact, while still delivering the same information.
Yeah, because I think you guys got to remember too, is the fact that them cutting it is also an oopsie on the staff's part too. You know what I mean? And I feel like some form of like credibility or like integrity on their part to recognize that they goofed up. How do we fix this the right way instead of like just slamming it in a flashback and calling it and be like, all right, we fixed it, guys. You know what I mean? It will be cool to see if they do a scene because that shows that the director,
Do.
ReZero, and that team, the team in the, you know, the conversation room has sat down and be like, okay, we recognize we have goofed up here. How can we do this? That shows integrity, and that's good by the staff. You know what I mean?
The one thing that is upsetting about Al that can never be brought back, and I actually talked with you about this a couple days ago, is the Al and the Rem convo that was cut from Arc 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone, and that can never come back.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Which is very unfortunate. Like you know, I genuinely hope that as they've seen some of this context, they've taken it to consideration because that plot point, because see, from my understanding, it seems like with Al, right, like his presence in the story or his significance, especially being one of the greatest big mysteries in the world. Is that how you say it? What's the phrase for it? Like,
I think they called it like 3 mysteries of ReZero or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. His existence starts to slowly become more relevant, even if you want to try to ignore it in terms of the mainline story. The side stories add up over time. And it's like, at what point do you stop trying to avoid taking the Band-Aid off and just trying to fix it? And once you fix it, you don't have to worry about messing it up again. You can just rip the Band-Aid off and do it now. Because if they go this season and they don't add this context for Al, I quite frankly would just assume at this point, you guys should just forget Al for the anime adaptation, period. Because I don't see them going back and doing it now. I wouldn't see it from a directorial standpoint. I wouldn't see the ReZero director waking up later and being like, oh man, Al. Now, granted, of course, they may do some random OVA but even then, it'd be like a compilation film, if anything, of just like
look at Al
a bunch of different moments. Yeah, just an Al compilation of like, here's Al with Ram. All right, now here's Al with Subaru back in season 3, arc 5. All right, now here's Al. You know what I mean? Like, it just be messy. They need to fix it now. Otherwise,
the clock is ticking. Let's put it that way. The clock is ticking.
Like, when do you think we should expect it? Episode 2, 3? Considering things are popping off now. If you were to gauge it content-wise,
I think there's potential for it around episode 3. I think the biggest potential is probably around episode 7, assuming I'm pacing it correctly in my head.
Okay. Gotcha.
There are 2 opportunities late into Cour 2. After that, it's over.
Oh shit! So this really is a do or die for Al's character. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they got to do it this season, man. They got to. We're gonna hope, of course. You know, we gotta hope. Because again, because I know a lot of Al's side stories are like in the. You know, I know a lot of Al's side stories are not in the main stuff. They're side stories for a reason. But if Teppei decides to one day lock the hell in on Al and starts to like connect stuff from his side stories and like context from the main story that like happened years ago that they needed to introduce back then, and all of a sudden Teppei like puts it on a 5-course meal now, it is going to sting so bad. And I would not blame y'all for knocking on the director's front door and be like, yo, let me in. We gotta talk.
So, if we pass all those chances, how will Al's character suffer? It's really hard to get into it without talking specifics. It's just
I would say as an anime only. Yeah, I would say as an anime only, technically we wouldn't know how it suffers. Like we would just assume that he's Priscilla's knight and that's it. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, what Availing just said. So Teppei live tweets episodes. He live tweeted this episode today. He tweeted about every single fucking character. He even tweeted about Schultz, the fucking little pink-haired kid from Priscilla's camp. He tweeted about Joshua. Not a single tweet about Al. He didn't say anything about Al. And I'm like, oh no, dude, it's over.
Oh, that's not good, bro. They need. do we know if Teppei has ever been in the room with them?
He fought them from cutting something, I think, from next episode.
Dude, I hope they say something about Al, cause
you don't give a fuck about him.
Like, that's crazy, bro. Like, why no? Like, are they like? I wonder, like, what's the thought process by trying to not or by not putting his content out? They trying to keep like Subaru's, position as the isekai main character, like just solo, or like did they just genuinely goof up, thinking that like they could get
know.
past it, man? Like,
How
I
long
know,
can we
I
get
know,
away
like
with this?
I know, like like there's theories as to why it was cut. Nobody knows a definitive answer. I know there's like the theories of like, they didn't think ReZero was gonna get a season 2 or something like that. But it's like, you don't take chances just because you're afraid. You still at least owe it to the author to, get it right, man. But like, ugh, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Al has too much motion. Tape fears him now. True. He saw his neck girth and aura, and decided to. He was too intimidated to tweet about him.
I saw that he's working in this season as a scenario supervisor. Good. Okay, that's good. They probably thought they wouldn't make another season. Yeah, but it's like I wonder, like, what did 2016 what was 2016 White Fox's basis off that? You know what I mean? Like,
what was
I
their
don't
basis
understand.
off of it? And
Yeah, like, what was, like,
I've
their
never
thoughts?
liked that argument. Not to say that the person in chat is like firmly making that argument, but I've never agreed with that argument because anime at the end of the day is an advertisement for the source material. And if you're making an anime, you should probably include the mystery that might get people to buy the fucking source material.
Oh, I would also just say that like nobody who's debuting a show would know if they were getting a second season. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Nobody knew that MHA would turn into a worldwide phenomenon until they got to episode 12 of season 1, and everybody locked in with season 2 from there. You know what I mean? Nobody knew that JJK would turn into a worldwide phenomenon, considering the fact that JJK sales were like non-existent for the longest time, and then it sparked like a wildfire, rivaling MHA in a matter of a year. You know what I mean? Nobody knows, truth be told. Now, granted, of course, I don't know how. See, now here's the one thing I don't know. I don't know how light novel sales were back during 2016, during ReZero season 1. I don't know. I could go find the chart for it, but I don't actually know off the top of my head right now. But that's something I might look into. You know what I mean? I'll go find the chart for season 1, and we'll, bring it back, and we'll have some thoughts. Because I would assume that ReZero was up there, man. Because it's like every time I look up in the light novel community, it's like if it's not ReZero, it's Don Machi. And if it's not Don Machi, it's the other usuals. But ReZero and Don Machi tend to be some pretty nice selling light novels as of these past few years, notably based off of what I've seen. Of course, that's subjective. Of course, I haven't compared them side by side, but
I have good faith that the Al Isekai thing will be mentioned. It may be delusion. I won't deny it. But I feel good about it.
Yeah, we just gotta wait and see. Gotta wait and see. The helmet shine blinding him from.
Like, how are they not gonna add his Isekai thing when they made his helmet so shiny? Like, come on. Like,
that's true. That's true.
What would be the point of making him so shiny? What would be the point of greasing him up?
That is true, man. All that character upgrade for that man to look HD as hell, and then just be like, yeah, we're not gonna use him. Sorry though. Like, all right, dude. Bro, did they forget, or did they just not read the part when adapting it out? Isekai was just cut simply because they forgot. I genuinely don't know. Again, I could assume two things. One, episode count, because at the end of the day, right? For every anime core, there are two things that will always stop an anime adaptation, and that is episode runtime, episode count. And they clearly had an indication that they wanted to get to the white whales being handled and Betelgeuse getting handled, right? So it's everything from the first word of that light novel to, the last words of season 1 that were exchanged. Anything in between those 2 episodes of season 1 counts as fair game to either cut or keep. You know what I mean? So looking at it then, I guess the real question is, could season 1 be adapted solely without cuts? Because if the answer is no, then I'm not surprised Al stuff got cut, because he's not the main character, and his stuff at the time did not hold significance to what we know now. That's not a good reason. But if they were in a conversation saying, what can we cut? And they say Al, not knowing that it was going to hold significance later, it's fair game.
It's unfortunate as well, because like, if someone does want to make the argument that it's because they don't know about the season 2 or whatever, well, in season 2 they were still cutting important shit. Like
Yeah, that is true.
they cut Satella's reason for loving Subaru. They cut like that Amelia and Subaru talk that I really liked under the moonlight. They cut Otto versus Garf. They fucking sabotaged that shit hard. They cut well, they didn't like cut it entirely, but they heavily reduced Garf versus Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
They cut that
Oh yeah, that's
Satella
right.
and the Witch of Envy are two different people, and like I don't understand why.
Yeah, and that's okay. That I'm not gonna lie, that to me is a monumental goof up, bro. Because
Yeah.
I kid you not, anime only people. I can tell you this for a fact. Actually, a lot of anime only crowd think that Satella is basically going to be a future that Amelia arrives at right now. Because it looks like her, and they do not do a good. Like obviously, I'm able to differentiate now, and I understand why people like Satella's appearance is more so in reference to why people treat Amelia, why they treat Amelia. You know what I mean? But a lot of people think that that's a dark future that Amelia will arrive at, and it doesn't help that Subaru said something like, "No matter what, I will save you" to Satella, because they're thinking they're talking to a future Amelia. You know what I mean? And I'm like, holy shit, this is massively. That's a massive fuck up, dude. That is a massive holy.
It is
Like
a
yo,
massive fuck up, yeah.
they got a boom. Whoever cut that out, that is a massive fuck up, bro. Because you're talking about dude, dude, yo, can we talk about this chat? Like that is a massive fuck. Because people think that's like an end game antagonist. You know what I mean? She's not gonna pop up. You know what I mean? We don't know where Satella might pop up in the story again. If she's even popped up again to this day. But that is massive, because anime only people are gonna arrive at that moment where it's gonna be like Satella standing in front of Amelia, and they're gonna be like, Nani? Huh? Like this is not the same person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sure, it's not a big deal when they arrive at, they'll separate it and they'll figure it out. But it's just like, dude, like that type of identification is important. But like when you cut important stuff like identification and then you add stuff like no matter what, I'm gonna save you. Like holy sh. Who the hell? Like why?
I'm gonna wrap up the anime only section. The novel section won't be that long because I've already been streaming too long. I got shit to do. Someone asked, is there a world where the reason Al doesn't say he's from Earth because Tape wanted to retcon that out of his character, but he didn't want to contradict himself in the light novel, so it's only in the anime? No. I will tell you now. They are the cart is approaching the elephant in the room that you cannot avoid. And they gotta figure it out.
Oh boy, interesting. But yeah, man. Listen, I'm gonna let you get to your novel section, man. It was great, man. Coming by, I will be here. When y'all need me, let me know. Chat. It was been a pleasure. I enjoyed coming by and yapping your ears off for the past 2 hours. I'm gonna go eat spaghetti and rewatch some parts of the episode. All right,
dude. Sounds good.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, guys. See y'all.
Goodbye, Jordan. Jesus, man. Now we can finally have some real conversations. I'm just kidding. I'm glad he came by. He had a lot to say. I'm glad to get the anime-only perspective in there. I always think it's good to be plugged into the anime-only conversation, so you can tell what they're up to. Why did you invite such a sexist person on here? What the fuck? Well, like, think about my options. I got Jordan, Gyro, Bubba, and those are like all the Tate brothers. But anime onlys, if you do not want spoilers, now is the time to go. We're going to be talking briefly about future events of Arc 5. I know some people want me to talk a little bit about Arc 9, so I could do that as well. Does Ocean Man watch ReZero? No. I will give the anime onlys a little bit of time to do their backflips, and then they can leave. I'm gonna make this quick because I have something to do, and I have already streamed for way longer than I thought I would. Alright, Game Boy Matthew, have a good one, man. I'm ripping it off. Where is it? Rip it off. Anime onlys are not safe anymore. Hello, Sambashi. So I was plotting out what I think episode 2 would be. And obviously it's going to be the immediate aftermath of the loop with Betty and Amelia reassuring him. It's going to have that moment of Subaru almost saying Sirius's catchphrase. In the episode 2 video is probably when I'll integrate talking about what Sirius the Star is. It'll have the part with Subaru talking about how this is his shortest loop so far. Rushing to the square, sneaking up on her with the guilty whip. I do fully expect all of that narration about the guilty whip being the perfect weapon for Subaru to get cut. I'm also trying to like try to mark down what I think is gonna get cut. It's gonna have Subaru and Luzbel sharing fear and pain, Subaru being tossed over the railing and choking to death on his own fear. And then obviously the next loop with Reinhardt coming, cutting everyone in half. I know a lot of people think that episode 2 is going to end with Reinhardt cutting everyone in half, but I don't think so. I think episode 2 is going to continue into that next loop when Amelia arrives. And I think the episode will end after... I think the episode will end after the Shamrock fails to nullify soul washing. And it'll end with Sirius... calling Amelia a shitty half-devil and popping off. I think Amelia's the better ending, yeah. In terms of things that I feel getting cut really strongly, like I mentioned the stuff about the guilty whip, and I almost feel positive that Sirius's authority being called soul washing will not be in the anime. For the rest, I'm not sure. Because every time you think, oh, this is important, and then you watch the episode, and then it's gone. So I don't know. But yeah, I think episode 2 might end with Amelia arriving and Sirius getting racist. Even though, you know, she needs to look in a mirror, it seems. Still didn't even see Tina yet? Yeah. Probably... this week, I'll probably read what might be episode 3? And try to figure that out. I do think volume 17 will be the 3-episode volume. And then volume 18 will be the 4-episode volume. And I Core 1 ending on the wedding crash is fantastic. No, I don't think it'll end with the speech. I think it'll end with the wedding crash, and that'll be the cliffhanger. I think the speech will be the episode prior, to be honest with you. Because there's like... 2 chapters? Yeah, there's 2 chapters after the speech. The way the BDs have it split makes me think volume 17 will have 4 episodes. Yeesh. Wedding Crash is a bit far, no? No. That far, or am I mixing up how long Arc 5 is? Wedding Crash is dead middle of Arc 5. Which is dead middle of Arc 5 in the anime, because it's 8 episodes for the first core. Like, you can have the Wedding Crash, and if you want, you can have like a little after credits scene of Lei rolling up to Otto or something. Make people think, oh my god, Otto's gonna die! I think they'll rearrange to set up those final fights in episode 8 before the crash. Yeah, probably. Cour 2. Well, let's talk about Cour 1, because I know everyone wants to talk about Cour 2, but Cour 1's going to have some good stuff too. It's going to have the Garf stuff, those stuff that wasn't rearranged into episode 1. It's going to have Subaru hitting Regulus with the Invisible Providence. It's going to have the March on the Capitol, not the one on January 6th. Emilia versus Sirius will be cool. Capella is cool. It'll have Krush Krush getting Krushed out again. Instead of crashing out, she's Krushing out. Al and Amelia in the mirrors, yeah. The speech. Of course, Cour 2. Whew. Cour 2 is going to be something. It's going to have the... Cour 2 is the Teresia reveal, I believe. It's going to have Reinhard dying. Quote unquote. I really hope... I mentioned this in ReZero chat a while ago. I really hope that they do Emilia and like Subaru skating on the ice skates through the city. Similar to how MHA did the Black Whip stuff in Villain Hunt, where it's like this really cool, dynamic CG shot. That should still be Cour 1, the Teresia thing? Because that's in Volume 19. Or is that just when her face comes out? I don't remember. Priscilla versus Sirius. Reinhard versus Regulus. Al versus Capella, the real one, dude. It's gonna have them busting out the meteor against Lei. And Luis popping out. Garf versus Kurgan. Check DMs to see the BD splits. Yeah, I saw it and I'm confused. I don't... I don't know what to make of that, I'll be honest with you. And then the Aridna reveal too. And Julius losing his name. That's such a good moment, man. People don't talk about Julius losing his name enough. That's a good fucking moment. Ricardo Hal? Is Vortex in chat? Never mind. Phase 3 seems like a pretty obvious 3 episodes. Since when? We were just talking about how Phase 2 seems like a pretty obvious 3 episodes. Because they rearranged Volume 17 into 16. I don't want to cut to Ricardo when Reinhardt versus Regulus is happening. It'll feel much better in the anime because the anime, by virtue, will be faster paced. So it won't be as egregious. I wonder how many Al sus moments they will cut. If Al sus moments get cut, this season is ass. Okay? Like, if they cut him handing the magic rocks, whatever the fuck they're called, to Betty, and being like, don't ask, this season sucks. When Yazakura-sensei mentioned he didn't think Otto would win in a fight against a Sin Archbishop, I chuckled. I was smiling. There were a lot of things that I don't remember off the top of my head that he was saying that I was smiling about. Otto just happens to have magic rocks in his hat in the adaptation. Stop. Stop. Oh yeah, when he was talking about Amelia and Regulus, I was like, if only he knew. If only he knew. There was something else that he said that I really wanted to mention, but we were still in the anime-only safe space, so I couldn't even mention it like without turning my mic on. I was using push to talk, so sometimes I could say stuff and he just wouldn't hear it. Somebody asked me what my thoughts are on Arc 9. The first half is not good. The second half changed my life. You see the helmet on that dog? Changed my life. I'm very excited for Phase 2 of Arc 9. I am perfectly fine with the hiatus for Battle Ballad because Battle Ballad is also peak fiction. So I will wait my turn. I'm being fed perfectly fine. Okay, I have Season 3. I'm gonna have Battle Ballad. Dude, some of that dialogue that Owl spit, oh my god, he was cooking. I also love the juxtaposition of Subaru hiding his book. And then immediately after, well not immediately after, but pretty soon after, Aldebron's like, that's my book. That's crazy. That was crazy, man. It's also like a crazy Chekhov's gun too, because you don't have Subaru hide a book for no reason. You have him hide a book. The Return by Death reveal is just, it's coming. It's gonna happen. I don't remember how much I talked about it in my Arc 8 review, but I really do think the RBD reveal is coming, and I feel even stronger about that with the ending of Phase 1. Because ReZero, one of ReZero's biggest ideas is to not go it alone and to always rely on the people around you. But there's something fundamental to Subaru that he can't do, and that's talk about Return by Death, which is one of his biggest fucking traumatizers in his life. And that just feels like a very intentional blind spot. Is that he's supposed to rely on these people and have these people help him, but the one thing that's causing him the most misfortune is the one thing that nobody can help him with. And it's the one thing that keeps getting him into trouble. Because the people that do find out immediately want to exploit it. Like, Roswell finds out he can loop. Immediately wants to exploit it. Echidna, like, understands Return by Death. Immediately wants to exploit it. So it would be good for Subaru to have somebody in his life that knows about Return by Death and isn't immediately like, oh, you should die and do funny stuff for me. You should kill yourself so you can keep running gotcha pulls. Please? I also love the little mage's reaction to Al's knowledge of the fight after loops. His name is Ezo, buddy. He's got a name, you know. And what a debut. What a debut what that was. I forgot he's little and green. Anyway, I know this is a really short light novel section. It's just, I've been talking for 3 hours. My throat fucking hurts. I didn't expect the anime only section to be that long, so sorry. We could probably talk about it more farther in the future, especially as the adaptation unfolds. Thanks everyone for coming out. If you have not already, please do watch my episode 1 video that I published, so that it gets caught in the algorithm. It's a little caught in the algorithm right now. It's my fourth best performing video of the past 10. If you haven't already, you can join the Discord, which is where we talk about ReZero, we talk about Kagurabashi, we talk about all kinds of stuff in there. So if you're normal, feel free to join. You can become a YouTube member, which gives you these badges you see on people. It gives you access to our unique emotes, and it gives you behind the scenes looks at content. It gives you content before its actual release. And you can't forget the stickers, man. You can't forget the stickers, man. We have stickers of a tiger character, a legally distinct tiger character. Which you can find in the description below. And you can get all these cool, legally distinct Tiger Man stickers, ripping his shirt off, and you can put them on your phone and shit. Thanks for coming out. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. And we'll see you guys... Well, see you guys next week, I guess.